How many fingers did it have up then, Will?
Sorry?
How many fingers did I have up?
Up what?
How are you
We're not
doing?
reco
Happy New Year.
Oh, we are recording.
We are recording.
All right. Happy New Year. That
That's
was
what I mean.
that was
I had fingers up and then I counted backwards from 3, 2, 1, but I counted 1, 2, 3.
oh. Yeah, Happy New Year. How you doing? Sorry.
I'm good. It's been a while. We're at practice, aren't we? Let's
A little bit. Yeah.
yeah. It doesn't matter.
No.
Let's swiftly move on
Yeah.
from that.
So how are you post Christmas?
I'm not too bad. I'm
Yeah.
not too bad. I feel somewhat rotund, more
Rotund.
rotund than
That's a good
than
word.
usual. It reminds me of dwarfs. Dwarfs are rotund, but
Yeah.
robust.
Rotund but robust.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a fat lad at the moment. I need to get back to the gym
I mean,
more.
I don't think you are, but I think you.
I feel it today, man. I feel
I
like
think
I'm
everybody feels like that
swaying.
post Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, isn't it? You know what? I don't feel like at post Christmas with though.
What?
The amount of models I've got. I smashed through a ridiculous amount over the
Yeah, you
break. The
did.
past 6 weeks, I've really plowed through it. But we'll talk about that in a little while. How was Christmas for you?
Yeah, it was good. Pretty chilled to be honest. I was ready for the break, and we spoke on one of the previous podcasts about general burnout. So it was nice to just have a bit of a recharge. Stayed at home for a lot of it. To be honest, we hosted on Christmas dinner for a few family members. Pretty chilled. Yeah, no complaints really. No heresy detected. Still breathing. Yeah.
Sounds good. I mean, general burnout's right next to Captain Knackered, isn't it? And Lieutenant really tired.
But yeah, no, I feel good to have had a couple of weeks off work, to be honest, and yeah, refreshed to start the new year.
Oh,
Not
that's
not as
good.
much for work, but more for the hobby side of things.
Well, that's it. And we've come back to an absolute mountain of stuff to talk about. I think there's a
We
absolute
have.
wodge we've got. So I don't know. Should we just get into it rather than doing a long drawn out intro? Except I tell you what. Spoiler alert, guys. Welcome back. We hope you all had a wonderful Christmas.
Yeah.
If you celebrate it or midwinter festival, whatever it is that you do, we hope you had a really great time. And there's a load of stuff. We had a couple of weeks off. We were going to do an episode between Christmas and New Year, but you know what we did instead? We chilled out with family and friends. And instead, we've let all of the stuff that we wanted to talk about just simmer under the surface, and now it's bubbling again. It's like pushing through the earth, and I am excited to talk about some of this stuff.
Me too. To be
One,
fair, we played Warhammer last night, and we didn't really talk about a lot of this stuff. I think because we knew we were recording, we kind of kept a lot of this to one side. So it'd be good to hear this fresh, really.
yeah, yeah. There is a mountain of stuff. So I think we'll cut the preamble short. We're happy to be back, and we'll just get into it. If you've not though, come over onto Discord, join us. Especially if you're a real person and not a spam bot, that would be fantastic. Um,
Oh, was that aimed at me because I let them in?
Well, no, we got to let the people in, haven't we? We don't know. I mean, if you identify as a spam bot, that's fine. But if you are an actual spam bot, you're probably not welcome.
Yeah, that did happen today. But yeah, come and join us on Discord. Tell us what you got for Christmas. Tell us what your hobby plans for the year are, and just come and hang out.
Show some pics. I mean, ideally
Mm,
of Warhammer, but anything else,
yeah,
pets is always a
dogs,
good one.
cats,
Share
hot
some
sauces.
hot sauces are
Yeah,
always appreciated, as are any good Warhammery memes.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a good bunch of people. Join us there. Follow us on Instagram, all of the other socials. And don't forget, if you enjoy this podcast, if you like listening to us talk, then do give us a subscribe. Tell all of your friends and leave us a review. The reviews are seemingly the things that helps grow it. So
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
that'd
I
be
think we.
much appreciated if you do. I know there are a fair few listeners that do listen that haven't subscribed. If you could drop us a subscribe for the new year, it would be really appreciated.
We should do one of those things. 98% of our of our listeners aren't subscribed. Our
I haven't
metrics show.
I haven't done the maths. It's not my strong point, but I can see that
Yeah.
not everyone is subscribed. So if you like us, please give us a subscribe. Easy for you to say.
Yeah, it is. Do all that good stuff. Housekeeping
Yeah.
out of the way. Come on, man. I want to talk about some Warhammer. Let's do it.
Cool. What do you want to start with?
I don't know. I suppose it should be the Xmas gifts stuff.
It should. Yeah.
What was in the red gobbler's sack for you then, Will?
Quite a lot actually. A lot of hobby stuff. What did I get? I got some nice new set brushes from Green Stuff World. Really looking forward to cracking them out. They look really nice actually, and it's got some like disposable brushes that are quite short. I've never seen anything like that. And it's just
Okay.
got nice range of detail brushes, bit of everything really. Some brush cleaner, some stuff like that. So it's always nice to
Well,
get some new bits and chuck out some of the old stuff in it.
this is sounds really sad. What brush cleaner are you using?
It's the one it comes in the set, it's Green Stuff World's own. Haven't used it yet. I haven't smelt it yet. I don't know if it's scented, but I'll let you know when I do. But, yeah, excited to get them cracked open and used. What else did I get? I got the Nighthaunt Black Coach, which I'm super excited to build because it is one of my favorite models, and I can't wait to get that on the table. Just gonna paint it up like the rest of my Nighthaunt, but I'm gonna have a think about maybe elevating it on the base a little bit more, doing something a little different with it. Not sure, not sort of settled on anything definite, but I wanna make it really stand out because, as I say, it's one of my favorite sculpts. So, yeah, that's exciting. What else did I get? I got Harkham World Claimer, so I'm gonna do a little conversion with him, just turn him back into a Night Lord rather than the Black Legion, just as a little passion project really, more than anything. Um I got a copy of Kraken Blood, the hardback copy,
What's that about?
which it is new Space Wolves novel.
Space Force. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know too much about it, haven't started it yet, but it's a cool looking book. I got the Night Lords Omnibus because I've got a tattered old copy of each individual book, so I thought it'd be nice to get the one with the better cover. And I got some new dice for Kill Team from Baron
Nice.
of Dice. Yeah, I think that was all the hobby related stuff. Got a hot sauce as well, which we'll talk about because we tried it last night. Yeah, I think that's hobby related. That's about it. Yeah. What about you? Oh, tell a
Um,
lie. You got me the AOS rulebook.
oh yeah, yeah, I
You
did.
did.
I
Sorry.
didn't
How could I
actually
have
pick up
forgotten?
the end. I
Yeah.
mentioned that.
Yeah.
That's
Which was
a
very
fair
kind.
old hobby all.
Yeah, it really was. And to be honest, I'd asked Soph to get me the black coach. Apart from that, everything else was kind of a surprise. So, yeah, I did well.
Fair. That
Yeah.
sounds like a good watch. Well, I got Darkwater, which we talked about
Yeah, you did.
a while back. I ended up with Vashtor, which
Nice.
was exciting. Three more of the Psychic Awakening books.
Mm.
Spoiler alert to something that we'll probably talk about later on. There's 9 books in that series, not 6, which would be why it kind of didn't make sense whenever I finished reading the story. It was like literally the second entire act, 3 books that I didn't have. What else did I get? Warhammer stuff. I got the awesome glass and thing that you got me, the placemat. And I'm sure I got something else. What
Placemat.
other?
That's what you put your plate on.
Well, you know
Coaster.
what I mean. Coaster.
Yeah.
Placemat, yeah. Um, what else did I get? I'm sure I got some more Warhammer stuff.
Um,
Maybe I didn't. No, I got a lot of Transformers, but
you
I
got
got some other Transformer stuff
you were telling me last night about something that you got.
post Christmas.
Yes, but for Christmas that are
Kind
on
of,
the
yeah.
way.
Yeah, they're on the way. So
Yeah.
that's the Villainy Inc.'s
Villainy Inks.
complete phase 1 and phase 2 set. Yeah,
Nice.
so they are turning up hopefully. I don't know if this week, maybe next
Yeah.
week.
Fingers
Um,
crossed.
either way, they will be here in the next couple of weeks. Oh, I know what else I got. I got Blighted Coast, but Blighted Coast, the Path to Glory book.
Oh, Blighted Wilds.
Yes,
Yeah.
Blighted. Is it called Blighted Wilds?
Yeah, you're thinking of the last one, which was Ravaged Coast, right?
Yes, Blighted Wilds. I can confirm that. Looking at my bookshelf, it is called that.
Yeah,
I haven't read it yet.
I did watch you turn around to look at your, bookcase there. We are
Yeah,
recording this remotely, so we're looking at each other on camera here, so
yeah. So there was that, and then as you say, the Villainy Inks. That'll be turning up in the next, I don't know, week, whatever. I bought them direct from US because it was a little bit cheaper to do it that way with the sale that was on. So super, like I'm genuinely really excited for those. And I'll probably be using those on my next large project. What else did I get? No, I think that was all of the Warhammer stuff I got this year. I'm consciously trying not to have as much in my backlog. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a good shout.
but it was all stuff that I wanted and I'm super excited about. So it was yeah, yeah,
You did well.
really, really good, yeah.
2 lucky lads, aren't we?
Very lucky indeed. The, Red Gobbo's sack was bursting at the seams. He, splurged presents all over our, living rooms respectively.
Okay. And on that note, do you wanna I tell you, why don't you tell me a little bit more about Darkwater, since, we mentioned that?
Yeah, we're just gonna jump straight into Darkwater then. Alright, cool.
I'm
Let's do
happy
it.
to if
Yeah,
you wanna.
wind that down. I'm so if you listened to previous episodes, we were excited, and then I wasn't excited, and then I was a little bit excited, and I didn't I didn't know where to stand with Darkwater. So I've played the past what, 3, 2 or 3 Warhammer Quests.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I played Blackstone and all of the expansions.
Yeah, Curse City, you played?
Yeah, played Curse City. I've not finished Curse City, even though I do own it and all the expansions, just because I haven't had the time to get through that really. So that's one that's on there for as well. And I
I
was
also have Curse City.
you do also have Curse City. It's almost like we could make that happen. I constantly forget that you have it as well, and it could be
Yeah.
a case of maybe the models over it. But anyway, that's by the by. So, I have played Curse It a couple of times. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoy the setting and such as we've talked about it. So I was super excited when this version of Warhammer Quest was originally announced, and then I was filled with a little bit of dismay at what it was. Mostly, mostly because of the box art. I know it's a really fickle thing, but I just do not like the box art. I can't get past that. But I was kind of brought around with all of the conversation about the fast setup, reduced mechanics, and it being a game that you can just like pull out and play really fast. So yeah, I ended up getting it for Christmas, like you say, and I painted it between Christmas and New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah,
that's
I built
good
all the
going.
models on Christmas Day, primed unboxing day. And then I started painting them. So I've done, I would say, a reasonable job on it. I did have the bases all prepped before Christmas
Yeah, you
because
did, yeah.
obviously I knew what size bases were, and I just happened to have every single base size I need. I actually overdid the bases annoyingly, so I could have saved a little bit of time there. I did 20 for some reason. I miscounted and did 20 additional 40 millimeter bases,
20
32,
additional.
20 additional 32 mil bases.
Oh, well,
For
got
and I
them
don't know
for
how I messed up that bad, but anyway, so therefore when whatever expansion comes out, I'll just be able to
yeah,
use them for that if they've I need some of those.
that's a good point.
So, I've been lucky enough to get Darkwater, have it painted, everything done, and play 2 games of it now.
Nice.
My original my original worry was that it was just not gonna be fun,
Yeah,
and I think I'm wrong. It was fun. I played it with my wife.
yeah.
She's never played any Warhammer before. She's just not that interested in it.
I can't believe you're cheating on me with your wife.
I know, I know. I don't think it'll last though. I think it's just a flash in the pan. I don't think she'll play it
Oh, and then you'll come
many
crawling
times.
back, will you? Come crawling back to
But
me.
we can start again. We can just go from the top and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be like no ever happened.
But
But
yeah,
she did pick it up.
oh, sorry, I was just gonna say, I was gonna ask how she found it, but yeah, you were going into that. Sorry.
No, no, no. It's fine. Yeah, she picked it up pretty fast. She wasn't interested in the lore and stuff. So I think the approach that we played the first game was very much a learning experience, as it is with anything. I had read through the rules, and they are very, very straightforward. I mean, the game mechanic is simple. The actual turn loop is considerably easier and more streamlined than anything else I played in Warhammer at all. But it does work. The boards kind of work as well. I mean, I've not played enough of it to say if each of the maps and the missions are too similar or not, but
Uh,
certainly from the first 2 games we played, I think it's alright,
Yeah,
and it is very much a beer and pretzels game. It doesn't feel like, I mean, this is something you asked me last night. Does it feel like Warhammer? And for me, I'm gonna say no, it doesn't
yeah,
feel like Warhammer. It definitely feels like a board game.
yeah. I mean, that's let's not say that's a bad thing though. If
Mhm.
you can get enjoyment out of it as a board game, that's still good. And you still had the enjoyment of building, painting the models, and you could use them in Warhammer additionally. So it's multifaceted,
Absolutely.
I guess.
It is, yeah, I mean, totally everything that's in there, all of the models, I can use in my Magickin anyway, so
Yeah,
I'm not too fussed about that, but I do want to play the game. I do want to complete the game, I do want to play the story, and almost certainly, without a shadow of the doubt, because I'm a collectionist, completionist, I'll get whatever DLC, mission packs, boxes, whatever we want to call it, that
yeah,
come out for it. And I think I'm in a good place to do that because I've rattled through the actual game so fast. I can already kind of start to see getting to the end of it. I've heard a couple of people saying that it does ramp up in difficulty really, really fast to the point where some of the encounters are like the boss encounters are really difficult. So
that's good though. I mean, you don't want to play a game and it be a foregone conclusion that you're going to win regardless. You do want to have a challenge, don't you?
you really do. I mean, I'm interested to see what happens in terms of the gameplay loop later on when you start to take real damage because it feels like it's really hard to die. So, unlike previous games where you took damage and that kind of reduced the functionality of your characters,
Yeah.
you don't have that in this until you get right to the bottom of your hit points. So, 10 hit points or whatever. And then you become like almost like incapacitated, and you got to flip the cards over, and you instead of having your 3 core abilities, move, attack, and aid, you've got, like, struggle, recuperate, and something else or whatever it is.
Okay.
So, even when you're dead, you've got another buffer to before you're actually dead.
Yeah. So you've
Mm.
kind of got the difference between knocked out and dead. That kind of
Mhm.
yeah. If you look at it in like a computer game term, you've still got a chance to revive before
Yeah,
you're dead. Right. I'm with you.
yeah. And they've written into the rules as well. Again, this feels very, as you just said, very computer gamey, very modern in terms of progression through something. Like, in my day, when I was a young nerdling playing video games, you either got good or you were dead. You went to arcade with your 10p's and then that was it. You're playing Ghouls and Ghosts, and if you were crap at Ghouls and Ghosts, well, it sucked. You better get good because you ain't gonna get any further. You had 9 continues and that was it, even in arcade. Whereas this, it does give you the ability to roll back a little bit and tackle those challenges again, so that character isn't permadead in that respect.
It's a bit more
Um,
forgiving than, let's say, Curse City was then.
it feels that way. Yeah, it feels like it would be easier to get to the end of the which is what they wanted to do. They've really condensed the game, so I think the core game is between 10 to 15 hours of
Okay.
gameplay, but it is, again, quite, different in terms of if you wanted to have a second or third run through.
Yeah.
How you go through it with the different cards and how those are mixed in to additional runs. So it does give you quite a lot of variation. And I mean, that was true of the previous versions as well, somewhat. But Curse City, for example, there were missions in there that were very grindy in terms of what you had to do. I mean, like literally, like proper slogs. This
Yeah.
has been streamlined to the point where I think, for the most part, that's almost been removed from it. So
Yeah.
it's very beginner friendly, it's very casual friendly. If you've got friends that aren't necessarily into Warhammer, but want to roll some dice together, you want to chill out, whatever, it does seem like it's really cool like that.
That's
And
that's
the
a that's a cool observation. I like that
Yeah,
idea of it's Warhammer without being Warhammer for people that don't know how to play Warhammer. Say
and
Warhammer again.
it feels like that.
Yeah.
Warhammer.
Okay.
But it definitely does feel, I mean, I know we've just said this and you asked me, does it feel like Warhammer? It doesn't feel like Age of Sigmar.
Okay.
It does feel like a classic fantasy trope kind of with the you got your rogue, you got your knight, you got your wizard. It
Yeah.
does have that feel. What I did like, and I'm going completely off of just reading the abilities of the 4 beginning characters because you don't play with all 7 of the available heroes from the get-go. You got the dwarf, Rolf Harris or whatever it's called, Drolf, whatever. But it's called Drolf or
It's called
Drolf?
Trolls. Yeah.
Drolf, yeah, Drolf Harris. The dwarf, let's call him that. We've got Inara, Wet Sword, or whatever she's called.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, you
we've
have the
got
game. You should be
we've got
telling me.
I know, but see, this is one of the things that I'm just not attached to the characters like I was
Yeah.
in Cursed City with, like, with Imelda. I'm not I don't have any parity with any of these characters.
Mm.
Got John the Green Wizard. I don't know what he's called, Jonas or something.
Something like
And,
that.
oh, no, he's one of the unlockable ones. He's not one of the core ones, is he? You play him later on. You've got, Captain Phasma,
Yeah.
or whatever she's called, Gwendolyn thing from Game of Thrones.
Gwendolyn Christie.
Gwendolyn Christie that played that character in Game of Thrones, who's
Yeah.
clearly the
Brienne Tarth.
yeah, Brienne Tarth, the budget version of Brienne. And then you've got Angry Knight, Ed Ed the Angry Knight.
Yeah. Ed Mark. Is it Ed
Edmark,
Mark?
yeah. Yeah, it is,
The
it's
Mantic
Edmark
Ed
for
Mark
him.
something. Ed Mark Valoran? Valoran?
It's
Something
something
like
like
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay.
my point was before I got rolled into into some kind of I made myself laugh at, was the abilities of some of those, like, Inara Wetblade or whatever she's called. Her ability to block enemy paths with, like, water spells that you then can use at different points. So basically can reshape the map
Oh,
in
that's interesting.
yeah. So, there's a real good synergy between the different characters. I think it would be very difficult to play it without playing all 4. I mean, I think you do have to play with all 4 of the characters to progress through it. But it's cool. It seems fun. What I did like, and I found this super confusing at first, but it's really, really simple. So all the bad guys are like bots effectively. They're controlled by event tables, yeah. They don't roll to save. They have a save value that you just deduct from your hits value,
Oh, okay.
which
Well, I
is
mean, that
like
kinda takes a little bit of the fun out of it, I would say. But I suppose if you don't have anybody controlling the character, it makes sense. I don't know, I mean, I'm kinda looking at this from the outside in because I haven't even seen it in the flesh. I've not seen the board, I've not seen the cards,
okay.
so it's hard to put that idea against anything when I haven't seen it in the flesh, if that makes sense?
Yeah. I mean, it's it's an interesting one. I was a little bit taken with it at first. I'm like, "What? How does that make any kind of sense at all?" Because, like, the last boss, so the Maya Kelpies, for instance, they're the easy, like, introductory baddies. They have no save at all, so hits just go straight through. Whereas the last boss, for instance, I think he's got, like, 12 health. Yeah, he has a save of 3. So if you hit him for 4, he's only taking 1 damage.
Okay. Alright. That's
You know what I mean?
interesting, but
So
I
it's
suppose it does it adds a sort of sense of gravity to how hard he is, I guess.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it makes it fast because you're rolling less dice. So
Yeah,
you're
and
rolling to hit, and then it's a case of just allocating damage minus a value that's persistent for whatever it is. Whereas
okay,
that's
yeah.
not the case for the heroes. Um, and I'm not trying to make it so that it's not as interesting because it still is. It feels streamlined,
Mm,
and again, I don't think this is a game that's targeted at us. I think this is a game that's
yeah,
targeting if we were to sit down and say, like, "Let's have a game night with the girls," I think they would be cool. We could sit down with some coffees or glasses of wine or whatever. Everybody'd have a fun time playing a game.
yeah.
It doesn't feel like we would have I'm sure when we play it eventually, we'll get through it and we'll get something from the story. But this doesn't feel like Warhammer Quest to me.
Okay.
It feels Warhammer Quest adjacent.
Alright, okay.
Um, so that's the game out of the way. What I thought of it after playing it for two games, like I say, and one of them was my first game. So
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
might
going to
feel
go too deep.
differently once you get through it,
Exactly.
and then we'll know if there's I'll ask you when you get to that point, we can have a talk about replayability and, your sort of final thoughts and have a bit of a wrap up sort of around that, and then maybe bring it back when we play it together, see if we've changed our minds or get my thoughts, but yeah, that's something for down the line, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. I mean, the models, on the other hand, the I don't like any of the heroes really. The
No,
one that I thought I was gonna like is the beastie guy. I can't remember what his name is. Like Ron Perlman from Beauty and the Beast. Let's call him that.
the big fella.
The big fella, yeah.
Yeah,
That's it's
Beorn from The
very
Hobbit.
simple. Yeah,
That's
beyond
the
from The
vibe I
Hobbit.
got, yeah.
I think my favorite one's got to be like Inara Wetblade or whatever she's called.
Yeah, that is a cool model.
Inara Scion or something.
To be fair, I got, very much Galadriel vibes from
Big
her.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah, 100%.
yeah, and I think, we did make this you made this connection, where you've got the wizard, the knight, and the rogue. I think we made a bit of a comparison when we just saw some of the initial pictures of it, that it did look like a classic fantasy or even like a D&D party where you've got this mix, and it is that classic high fantasy trope, and I quite like that idea, and I think for me, I haven't seen the sculpts in the flesh, but I really like the heroes, and you don't, so we've got an interesting dynamic there, haven't we?
Yeah, we do. I was surprised. I mean, for me, I didn't expect to like Inara until I painted her, and I was like, "Oh, okay." I would, if I could buy this model separately again, I would get it and paint it. And I think it's because it's so simple. It's a very simple sculpt, yet it's full of character, and I think there's a lot of scope there to do interesting stuff. And it's the same with um, Jace or Jordan Vine Wizard, the green guy.
I'm just gonna
Um,
pull it up actually and have another look while you're talking about this. Apologies if you can hear me typing.
no, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
What's her name? Inara?
In our Scion or something.
Inara Scion. Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, it is a simple model. You're right. I mean, I'm only looking at it from a computer screen. But yeah, yeah, I look at that and there seems to be a bit of a lack of texture for me. But I'd be interested to see your paint jobs. I've seen the pictures that you sent me, but it tells a different tale when you see it in the flesh, doesn't it? So
Yeah, and I think it was the realization as I'd finished painting it, "Oh, I could have done something special with this." Especially with, like, the spell effect of the wall. I didn't because
Mhm.
like I say, I've gone for a very functional paint job. The the heroes, I spent almost no time. It's very box arty. I
Mm.
took real inspiration from that. The Nurgle stuff I spent a little bit longer on because I wanted them to be able to match into my Magickin army, but again, they were pretty fast paint jobs. You know, I think total I spent maybe 15 hours, 20 hours all in on the models. So it's not a huge amount of 49 models.
No,
Um, but the Magickin in there. So let me get a couple out of the way that I'm not interested in. The Pox Wretches, I think they're called. Some of them really nice sculpts. They remind me a lot of the 40k Death Guard Pox Walkers or whatever they're called.
Poxwalkers, yeah.
They're very similar to that, and it feels like it might have been even the same sculptor, or they took real inspiration from those in terms of the faces. But
Yeah, I can see that.
I think they're quite characterful. The Pestigores, I'm not into those at all. I think the full fat multi-part Pestigores that have just dropped this weekend, as the time of recording this, I think they come out tomorrow.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Um, yeah, those are so much better. And I'm going to say the same for are the Templars in this. There's three of the knights.
Oh,
Um,
the Blight Templars.
yeah, the black
What are they called?
they're either Blight Templars or Blight Kings that come in this box. There's one of them that's cool. The other two I think are very very meh. They look nice, but
I
They're
really
not
like them
special,
actually. I think for me, they're like the standout ones for me. But
really.
again, I'm looking at pictures online rather than seeing the model in the flesh. So,
I think it's because I've painted so many Blight Kings. I mean, I think I've painted at this point, those would have been my 26th, 27th, 28th Blight King.
oh, there you go.
So yeah, I've got a fair few of them, and that's if you just don't count the ones that I've got on the Puscoils as well. So I've done a
Yeah.
wodge of those chaps, or very very similar to those. But
Yeah,
then you've got things like the Maya Kelpies don't care, and
yeah, I didn't like them.
I don't like them at all. But the Cankerborn, oh mate, those are beautiful sculpts. And I almost felt bad for smashing through them as fast as I did, but
Ah, you see,
um,
I look at them and I don't like that sculpt
I
on
really
face
like
value.
those. Really like them. I think all of the boss characters, so Shaman Foulhoof, um, Gelgus Pust, big arm guy that's just another Blight King. He's for me, he is the weakest of the bosses.
The
And
one with the
like, I
big
know
arm.
what everybody seems to really like the chap with the big arm,
It
and I've seen some
reminds me of,
stunning paint jobs.
I can't remember if I said this to you, I said it to somebody. Did you ever play Soul Calibur?
I did indeed play Civ. Yeah, yeah. It looks like Nightmare slash
Yeah,
Siegfried. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
with that big arm. That's all I can think
Yeah,
about when I see it.
yeah. That's exactly what I thought as well. You don't strike me as a Soul Calibur kind of guy.
I
Yeah.
was very much into Soul Calibur
Wow.
on the GameCube. Soul Calibur
Oh,
2, I think.
it was. That was the one that had Link as a special character, wasn't it?
It did, yeah, and I also had it
Yeah.
on the PS2.
Yes.
I had
We
both
should
versions.
we should converse about this off air sometime. I played a lot of Soul Calibur to a decent level. We could get involved.
I have a PlayStation 2 with Soul Calibur 2 and 2 controls in this
I've
house.
got I've got the oh man, I can't remember what version it is. It's Soul Calibur 5, 6?
There's a
I
new one
got it.
coming out,
I
isn't there?
literally started playing it the night my wife went into labour, and I've not touched it for 4 years.
Is there a new one coming out, or have I made that up now? New Tekken coming
Nah,
out, that's what I'm
oh,
thinking.
Tekken 8's out.
Oh, is it out?
Yeah, its price has just dropped. Anyway, this is
Anyway,
nothing to
yeah,
do with
that's
this.
not yeah,
This
this
is
is
a
a conversation
um,
for later.
obviously the standout model in the entire box for me is the Maggot Witch, Cyst Witch, whatever she's called.
Yeah, I see that one. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like it.
she feels out of place in this box.
Yeah, in what way?
In like the sculpt and the quality of that is so much higher than everything else.
Yeah.
But I feel that with the heroes as well, dude. Seriously, the heroes look so much lower fidelity than any of the bad guys. They
Okay.
feel like they're put in as an afterthought. They still look fine. They look good, but they look like they would be good 5 years ago compared to even like the Pox Wretches. The
Oh,
Maya Kelpies are the other ones. The Maya Kelpies look really old. Like they look, no pun intended, they look muddy. The detail on them, it just looks too
mm,
soft.
okay.
And then when you look at the Pox Wretches or you look at the Cankerborn, it is such high fidelity. It's like going from standard def to high def. It's ridiculous. And then when you look at the Witch compared to the other ones, it's like, wow, okay, this is ridiculous. Even the facial features on there, like on
Mm,
her compared to any of the others, it feel like it's a way more realistic, less heroic scale.
yeah.
Which you could say for the entire box in general as well. I think that's it. It leans more towards fantasy, Warhammer fantasy battles, kind of that aesthetic. But her particularly looks real world. Like everything about like the scale of her arms, the size of a hand compared to a forearm,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. I mean, it really is on the nose, and her face and the face of the 2 sisters that are in it. There's the sister that's kinda hugging the cauldron at the bottom, that's a little bit softer just out of necessity from where it is, I think, from how the casting process is, but the other 2 is just insanely high quality, and the
Mm.
amount of detail on it is, like, staggering.
Yeah, I'm looking at a picture of it now. I mean, I don't know, I think I'd probably find it hard to look past some of the quality of the models because I think on a subconscious level, I'd be comparing it to how good Curse City is. And we spoke at length on the podcast about how good sculpts are within that box, but there doesn't seem to be a disparity between any of the factions in that box. To me, every sculpt in that box is good and, stands out on merit against, its counterparts and things like that. But it's interesting you say that this has a little bit more disparity between some of the bad guys and some of the heroes. So yeah, I mean, it's an interesting point, but I'll have to take a look at it. You'll have to bring it around, or I'll have to take a look at it next time I'm around at yours.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, either or, either or. It does make me wonder if the game was like it was thrown together rather than it being a product. It feels like it may be a product of circumstance
Yeah.
rather than it being a conscious decision. And that's I'm not like slating it by any means. Like I say, I'm enjoying what I've done so far and everything, and I'm like happy with it. Shaman Foulhoof as well,
Ugh.
really nice model, but again, feels totally different in terms of look, scale, even to the other Pestigors. But yeah, it feels like the perhaps Warhammer Fantasy Battle has taken off a little bit more than they thought it was going to, and they kind of pivoted on what the development for this version of Warhammer Quest was supposed to be, and perhaps they had some models that were ready to come out, and they've repurposed them or whatever, and kind of put this together because it does feel like there's just not the consistency there, and the more I've had it in hand, it does feel that way. But I'm not saying that that's a bad thing because it could be that that simpler approach is going to be a good gateway into the hobby for other people. And if that happens, it can only be a good thing, really, can't it? You know?
Absolutely, yeah. Making that comparison that you did to, the old world and the differences of that and Age of Sigmar, this kind of bridges the gap between them because it gives you a bit of everything that's included in both. So you could pick this up and then have a look online, decide you might want to go one way, you might want to go another way. And yeah, I get what you're saying. That's an interesting take. I like it.
One thing that I did like about this box as well, everything fits back in the box when it's fully built.
Oh yeah, well, tell us about what you did with the box.
Oh, I just made a couple of quick inserts for it.
So
So I tried to do the same thing with Curse City and Blackstone, and I ended up spending like a wodge of money on a fielder insert for. But I think I spent a good wodge, like over 100 quid,
yeah,
on all of the fielder inserts for the core box and all of the expansions. And with Curse City, I didn't do that as much. I kind of couldn't figure out how to get everything around this. I've just kind of got everything in really useful boxes. But this,
but
I was like, the models all, they haven't got too many spindly bits sticking up. There's only
yeah,
like Inara, really, and a couple of the Pestigors that have any. There's a couple with spears. Other than that, everything's fine, but nothing protrudes. I think there was 2 millimeters clear in the box when you put the map book at the bottom and the rule book under there. Everything else you can fit in, and there is more than enough room to get all of the 49 miniatures. So I banged a little bit of ferrite sheet on some plastic card, made an insert for all the models, magnetized their bases, and then made an additional insert for the right hand side to keep all the cards and stuff together. So I'll get like a card box to put in there, and then just 3D printed a token holder and things. So there's literally a game in the box. The entire everything that I wanted. Should I want to bring it around to yours or whatever, I can do. And I added some, additional packing in there as well, so like things can't slide around and get damaged. But yeah, that was an absolute win for me as well.
yeah. I think it's things like that that I don't think things like that can be understated because, as you say, it means you can put it in the car in one box and take it and not have to worry about forgetting something that might be in another box. So you've had to put something in your backpack. Yeah, that I think that's a big selling point.
It is, and I think that is another reason of why it feels like it's meant for casual people.
Yeah.
It's like everything it is in the box, you can play it, you can put it away. The setup time being like 5 or 6 minutes, to whip everything out. Once you understand what the tokens are for and what cards are where and how to deal them out, it their marketing material of saying you can set it up in 5 minutes compared to like Curse City or whatever taking sometimes 15, 20, 30 minutes
Mm.
to set up. It is on the ball, you can be rolling dice inside of 15 minutes from arriving somewhere, which is wonderful.
Yeah. No, that sounds really good. Um, yeah, I mean, one thing I did want to ask as well was about the it's not a board, is it? Because it's a book. What do you
The
call it?
book.
Yeah, the book. Does it one thing that's been on my mind since you got it, when you open the book and lay it flat, because
Mhm.
it's not, like, ring bound, is it? Does it
No.
stay as you want it to? It stays flat?
It so far, yes.
Oh, that's good. 'Cause I was worried
I
about that.
do I do have concerns about long-term
Mm,
viability of that map book, of
okay.
whether it will deteriorate over time. 'Cause it's like done the way that they've done it is rather than having it glue bound down the side, it's leaf bound on each side, so it splits it
Oh, okay.
equally. So it does lay flat. I mean, as you progress through the more you're playing the maps that are close to the middle of the book, there will be a slight bulge, but it does seem to actually do what it says on the tin.
Okay. That's good
Whether
then.
it holds out, we'll see, but it's
Yeah.
decent material.
It's something to think
Well,
about though
decent stock.
if you were playing with your kids or something that might be a
Yeah.
bit rougher than, we would perhaps. It's something to think about, but, no, I'm glad it lays flat anyway, because that was a concern that I had when I saw the pictures that it was gonna be in that book format, but, no, it's good to hear, but, no, I'm glad you're happy with it. Yeah, and it sounds interesting. I think, yeah, we'll get around to playing it together eventually, won't we? I'm sure. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, so it'll be sooner rather than later, I'm pretty certain.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds good to me, but, yeah, have you got anything else you wanna say on Darkwater itself, or
Um, no, I'm just excited to see what they're gonna do with the expansions, and I know issue 520 of White Dwarf has got the stuff for, Flesh Eater Carts in there, but there's already been I've seen a few people complaining about and this was exactly the same with Cursor. But obviously with Curse City, it was they released expansions without any models in the boxes.
yeah,
So this is a free update that they're putting in White Dwarf for Flesh Eater Carts, but the models that you require to do it, I think, are the Abhorrent Gore Warden, which is like 30 quid,
Mhm.
Cardinal 30 quid or 25 quid or whatever. Th all of the models are basically running you 30 quid.
yeah. So you pay you they're saying
So
it's
if
a
you
free
want
expansion, but the expansion's 30 quid then, theoretically.
it's multiple 30 quids because you need like 120 quid's worth of models to use those. But if you happen to have them and you have the game and you want to use them, I'm not going to say that that is. I can see why they've used Flesh Eaters because it makes sense from Flesh Eater lore. And in fact, there's a story in the new Battle Tome that I wonder if there was a crossover when they were writing this and that it was actually foreshadowed because we actually talked about it, didn't we? Putting the wine in the barrels and stuff
Yeah,
in
we
the
did.
abbeys. Um, so I, if you've got those models or you want to proxy them or whatever, great, it's there. But I don't think people's complaining about, oh, well, you've got to buy these models. So you have to buy all of your models.
That's
You
just
know,
true. Yeah, 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 that's it. I mean, I suppose you're lucky in the sense that you already have them, so that's kind of readily available to you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, they're bought and paid for. Let's be honest, you have already paid that money for them, but
Exactly.
it's another it's another string to the bow, isn't it? It means you can get more out of the game, and you're lucky enough that you have it to do that.
Absolutely, and it is an addition to the game. You don't require those models to play the game or enjoy the story, which I think is where I have a little bit of a breach with people complaining about that. It's like, well, it's a free update. What do you want them to do? Post you out the models as well for free.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
look, I mean, Lord knows we like to complain, don't we? I mean, we have a hot
Yorkshireman.
takes. Yeah, we have a hot takes section where we literally do complain, and we have moaned, but yeah, I mean, I don't see that as being a massive detractor personally. If I could get hold of the Curse City expansion stuff for something that isn't a ridiculous price, I don't mind paying it, but it's all scalped prices now, isn't it? So, but at the time, if I'd have been in the hobby and playing it, I don't think that would have bothered me not having the models. I think loving that setting as much as I do, I would have paid that money without complaint. So, yeah. But I suppose it depends what you want to get from the hobby and how much you like it. I think that's how you justify if it's worth spending the money, right?
Totally, totally. I mean, without um any additional, utility in the models in other games other than Darkwater. From my experience of Darkwater so far, models, game, everything, I would say it's a solid 7 out of 10 for me so far.
That's high praise indeed from you.
Other than the box, which I think is I mean, the size of the box is great. The actual box art, truly atrocious.
Mm, okay.
Otherwise, it'd have got an 8, maybe.
Maybe. Alright, fair enough. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I mean, I was on the fence about buying it. I decided not to. I don't know if I'll be in a rush to buy it, but we'll see. I'll have a look at yours and give it a bash, and we'll take it from there.
Sweet. Okay,
Cool.
well, mm, what next? What should we talk about? What have you got
Next,
that's on there?
um, do you want to talk about Huron Blackheart's new model? Because I do. I think we've got two very different opinions on this, haven't
Go
we?
on then. Do you want to start on this one?
So Huron Blackheart, I really like this model. I really like that character. Even though I was kind of out the hobby for a while, Huron Blackheart was a character that I really liked. I mean, I remember sitting in my living room that night we were supposed to record, but we just ended up chatting for whatever reason. And I was telling you all about the history of the Badab War, before we even knew that Huron Blackheart was getting a new model. And, I get excited about that. It reminds me of being in love with the law, and I think probably in my early 20s, probably talking 15 years ago here, but yeah, I'm excited about this model. I really like the sculpt. I know he's been getting a bit of grief online, looking like fictional characters from other IP, let's put it. Um, but I like the attention to detail that they've done with, the missing side of his face, and I think he looks how I picture him compared to the old model, and yeah, I'm really happy with it. I mean, I don't think it's one that I'll buy because, I don't play 40K, um, unless I do a Red Corsairs kill team. I don't know, which I doubt. You could do them as Legionnaires, but Huron wouldn't make it into that anyway. I'm waffling because I love Huron Blackheart, basically. I'm excited to see some more lore with him, to see where they go down that route, to see how he interacts in this 500 world setting. Um, but yeah, I really like that sculpt. I like his little friend that he's got. I like how they've done his spiky hand. What am I trying to say?
It's like power claw thing.
Yeah, power claw. Yes, spiky hand. I really like it. I like the attention to detail with some of the little Eldar motifs he's got, hanging on his belt, things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I did like that.
it's exactly how I pictured him. And I know there's a bit of a difference of opinion from a lot of people online, but to me, that model looks as good as it can, and I'm really happy with
Really?
it. Yeah, I
Okay, that's good.
really, really like it, and I'm excited for it.
E even the face.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to look.
Are you sure? Are
Yeah.
they sure that's how he's supposed to look?
Well,
Do you
what
his face just looks, let me zoom in even more.
I don't
I
understand why people are commenting on this because
It's
that's how he's supposed
atrocious.
to look. It's atrocious. What, the design, the sculpt?
Yeah,
What don't
yeah.
you like about it? Everything.
Alright, so for the first thing for me is this really I know this sounds stupid, it just looks like a AOS, Slaves to Darkness Chaos Lord in power armor, um, which is fine, I get it. It is literally a Chaos Lord. Okay, cool, whatever. But it feels like much like with Titus, this pose has been used way too many times for me, but the thing that really I'm not there for at all is the head is just comedic. I
Do
don't
you
get
think?
horror, I don't get yeah, I think the head is honestly atrocious. I think this is one of the biggest fails from Games Workshop for me. I would go so far as to say I hate it. I
Could you
genuinely hate it.
can you look past the paint job and imagine it looking different with a different paint job? Because I can, and I think
Yeah.
I see the potential for horror there rather than comedy.
Yeah, I would like to see obviously, with a lot of this stuff, once it gets into the community and we see some community paint jobs, that is always the way, but from the promotional images, which is all we can go on at the moment, it's just like, they're really not helping the self. It feels like that Fat Inquisitor guy that they released, Cortez, is
Oh,
it?
yeah.
The one that just looked really derpy.
Yeah,
This
that
this
was
I
horrible.
mean, but this makes that look great.
Do you think?
Yeah, I
I
really I'm not there for this at all.
We have very different opinion on this, don't we? But I mean, that's that model just screams Warhammer 40,000 to me. Yeah,
Really?
I think it is a bit over the top, and yeah, I know that pose, I don't wanna say heroic pose. Well, I mean, it is a heroic pose, I guess. It has been overdone, but I think with a character like that, it can work still, and I quite like that it's a bit theatrical, and I like that it's a bit over the top because that's kind of what Chaos Marines are to me. So, yeah, but it's good that we disagree because we can't like the same
Oh,
things,
no.
can we? And this
No,
is
no, no, absolutely.
and I think I'm seeing a lot more of this online. A lot of there's a lot of Red Corsairs fans that have been, waiting for a model like this, and a lot of them love it, a lot of them hate it, and I've seen people are looking at conversion ideas already, people that are looking at alternate builds, creating a different version from their own idea, kit bashing. So I think if nothing else, it's created a lot of discussion and it's created a lot of noise online, some good, some bad, but I think that's just good for the hobby. And I think people are excited for the lore behind him to see how this is going to interact with Titus and everything else that's coming. It's exciting times, I think, for 40k. And this is just kind of part of it for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like you say, I'm not a Chaos fan, and
Uh,
it's great that people are excited about this, and I can see the potential for conversions here and stuff. So, yeah, I think, like I say, one of the things that I like about the hobby is these conversations
Yeah.
that we can dislike it, and like what you dislike about it and what I like, what I do like about it and what you perhaps don't like. I think I shared a picture with you, didn't I, where somebody had done the Photoshop mock-up of mirroring and I genuinely liked that to the point it was like I would buy 2 of these and actually kit bash that model because I thought it looked really, really good.
Yeah, see, I completely disagree. I mean, to me, it's everything it should be, that model, and I get why a lot of people don't like it. I understand why you don't like it, but, they can't please everybody, can they? They can't appeal to every single fan of Warhammer. There's always gonna be some detractors and some people that have a different vision in their head. There'll be some people that'll cry out for the old version of the model, which to me is massively derpy and outdated, but that's the beauty of this. We get to have these discussions. We get to if we did have this model, we get to paint it differently. We could build it differently. We could kit bash, convert, and everybody has a different take on it. So I think there's a lot of potential in that model. And yeah, uh, yeah, I think that's my excitement from Huron Blackheart out the way, I think.
I'm excited that you're excited for it.
Yeah, I'm excited more for the lore than I am because I probably won't buy the model. And if I do, it'd just be one to paint and have on the shelf. It wouldn't be one I'd play with. But
I was I was, like, proper salty for you at first when I heard this was coming out because I thought for some reason that this guy was, the guy that you got for Christmas.
a Harken World Claimer.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
sort of like and then it wasn't until I was like, "Oh, man, he's gonna be gutted," 'cause it was, like, literally Christmas Day you told you told me, and then, like, Christmas Day, I was like, "Oh, man, he's gonna be, like,
Well, they both begin with
properly grumpy about this," but
both chaos dudes that begin with H.
yeah. Yeah, but, I'm interested to see what other stuff comes off the back of this guy. I know we've
Well,
already seen some bits and pieces, but
yeah, that's something else I wanted to talk about actually. It's if you'll permit me, it would be my hot take is about leaks and
oh, yeah, go for
this
it, man.
this one especially really because we got the actual press release, whatever you want to call it, about Huron, and then not long after, I was just looking online and I got all these pictures of the leaked box of him of his mates without even looking for it. It was on my Facebook, it was on Reddit, and I don't like that. I don't go looking for leaks, and when they're kind of unavoidable, it kind of spoils the fun and the excitement. Seeing grainy, blurred pictures, that with writing that you can't make out, it just makes everything a bit anticlimactic. And then I saw that got leaked, and then they I feel like they rushed the release of that, the Chaos Apothecary on the back of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's in that box, but yeah, it takes the fun out of it for me, I don't wanna stop being part of some of the hobby groups that I'm on Facebook. I don't wanna unfollow the subreddits that I follow, but it's getting to the point where you just open your phone and you just wanna have a look at something current or see what people are just generally chatting about or painting, and leaks are just posted freely and, with no spoiler warnings, not, with the hidden thing where you got to click on it, and
Yeah.
yeah, I'm getting a bit sick of that really, and I don't know if that's me, old man shouts at cloud moment, but it's
Better
it
clouds.
it takes the fun out of it, and it just spoils something. Where's the sense of anticipation of waiting for something and building up to it, and it's like, "Oh, look, it's leaked." Where's the excitement now? Because we kinda know it's gonna get announced, and yeah, I suppose it's not really a hot take, it's just a bit of a moan about leaks.
No, I think it is an hot take 'cause, like, there's a lot of people that have, built communities off of the back out
Yeah.
of leaks and stuff, innit, and I get that, that's fine, each to their own, but I totally agree with you, and I wonder if some of the lackluster releases that we've seen over the past 12 months, not that they've all been that way, but been as a result of them having to do that because of the leaks. They just don't have
Yeah.
the product, all of the gravitas, all of that weight's gone. And certainly for me, certainly since we became friends and we started talking more, and I've had somebody that like is equally as excited about this and in the same vein that I am, I find it quite annoying
Yeah.
to have it spoiled. I would rather have that anticipation and conversation fodder than eye candy. I would rather, like theory craft with you or with the communities that
Well,
we belong to
we've
rather than
done
have hard evidence.
that's it, we've done I mean, we literally did an episode on the Tyrannus degree, the smallest bit of lore, didn't we? And that was because we get to speculate, and that's half of the fun of this hobby, of seeing where the lore's gonna go and what models might come on the back of it. We had a massive discussion about the future of the Grey Knights based on this tiny little excerpt of lore that was introduced, and the more you see things like this leak, it takes away a lot of that spontaneity and a lot of that creative thought process, which to me is a huge part of this hobby. And yeah, it really takes something away from me. And, don't get me wrong, if you wanna go out there and look for leaks, go out there and look for leaks. We do have, we say in our Discord, we've got a specific place to discuss leaks and things like that. So if you wanna come and join, you can talk about them there, but keep it to the relevant place where people can turn the notifications off if they don't wanna look at it. And I think that should be the case. And I know I can't police everybody online, and I'm not naive enough to think that everybody shares this thought process that we do, but it's a bit of common courtesy putting a spoiler alert on something to me. That's all.
It it needs to be done, and
Yeah,
just don't leak stuff all the time. I know it's nerds nerding about
yeah.
like, "Oh, I've leaked it," but
I don't get me
on
wrong.
the
I understand if you were to see a leak or to share a leak because you're excited. It's two sides of the same coin. I understand that, but I think it's just having a little bit of respect for the people that might not want to see it. But yeah, that's my 2 cents, I think, as the Americans say.
I can't disagree with you on any of those points. I think it was yeah, yeah. Although I was happy to see that the Warhound didn't happen on Christmas Day.
Yeah, do you know what? I completely forgot about that until you just said it because we were kind of sure about that. There was all these signs pointing towards it.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder if the release is it next weekend? There's a reveal show. I wonder if it's gonna be shown there.
Yeah, you mentioned this last night actually.
I think it's the 16th. I
Did you
wanna say
see?
it's 16th.
Shall I have a quick look on Warcom while we're talking about it?
You can do it. You can do it, but,
Yeah.
I'm wondering how because this seems to happen more for 40K than it does for AOS. I'm wondering if there wasn't a bigger release planned for Christmas Day because this guy doesn't seem to be I mean, it was good, I suppose, people were happy about it, but it didn't seem to have the fanfare. None of the Grotmas stuff seemed to have the fanfare this year leading and it felt It felt like something of a wet squib, you know what I mean? It was an anticlimax.
Yeah, I think a lot of people said that. I mean, it's hard for me because I don't really have a lot to compare it to because I kind of wasn't that invested at this time last year as I am now. So yeah, maybe ask me again next year what I thought about Grotmas 2025, I guess. But yeah, I've seen a lot of people complaining about it or grumbling about it, shall we say?
You know what, man? I think in the run up to Christmas this year, I was so busy and everything, and it was just like such a low point of the year. I didn't really have time to focus on it, so I'm just gonna let it pass me by and I don't care. But
Yeah,
some of the
I agree with that. I think I share that sentiment. I wasn't really in the mindset to get excited about it, so it kind of passed me by, and I'm okay with that. You know, I don't feel like I've been cheated out of anything. Yeah, I wasn't in the right mind space for it, to be honest. You know, we had that episode where we talked about burnout, and that was a real thing, and it was hard to get excited about things. So yeah, it's cool.
yeah, that's absolutely fair. I've what else has happened? Oh right, all the Nurgle stuff, all the Maggotkin
Yeah.
stuff. Let's talk about that as well. Because should we talk about some more 40k stuff first? Let's talk about some more 40k stuff first.
Okay.
I suppose 500 worlds Titus.
500
Um,
Wheels Titus, our favorite Ultramarine.
so I was originally, remember, I was gonna get those books. I'm not gonna now. I'm gonna get them further down the line. I think I'm not sure because the ones that I want would be these limited edition hardbacks because you know how I feel about softback books.
You want them for the collector mentality
Yeah,
because,
yeah,
yeah.
that's all. But
Well, we spoke about this because I
they're
asked you
pretty
flat out,
expensive.
are we going to play this game? We both agreed, no, we're not. We've got enough to be getting on with, so I'm not going to be in a rush to buy them. So
Well, I only want them for the lore, but it's coming with 3 books in the set, and it's I really wanted the campaign books. I've really enjoyed reading 2 parts of the Pariah Nexus, and I'll be getting into the Psychic Awakening, but yeah, I think for the cost of entry, I think is the slipcase version gonna be 59 quid or something?
I don't know, but it sounds about right. I haven't looked, to be honest. I made the
I
decision
just
not to buy it, so I kind of haven't looked.
yeah, I don't there's a lot of game content in that box set, and because, like you say, we're not gonna play the game, I'm going to avoid it, but I'm pretty excited for the wider narrative that's happening
Mhm.
in 40K. I feel like my attention is it's moving towards 40K like more evenly. I'm certainly not leaving the Mortal Realms and definitely not leaving Shaiish, but what's going on with the story, not necessarily the game, but the story is exciting me at the moment. It feels like there's
Yeah,
a lot of new stuff happening there, and where they're going with the characters, I think that is really kind of piquing my interest
it's
to the
exciting.
point I've flipped over and started to listening to some 40K audiobooks again. So I'm on with Mind Flayer at the moment, the Fabius
Nice.
Bile.
Yeah. No,
Um,
I think, it's one of the reasons why I was excited, about Huron. No, you know, just seeing where they're gonna go with the lore because, you know, we've made this fairly clear, we don't play the game 40K, but we love the setting and we love the
yeah,
models and we very much love the books. It's part of our hobby even though we don't play that game, so we can get excited about it, and I'm really excited to see where they're going, with this sort of character-driven narrative of 500 Worlds as well.
yeah. There's been a lot hinted at. I'm loving the thought of Vashtor having more to do with it,
Yeah,
and
you love Vashtor,
like
don't you?
I love me some Vashtor. Like I genuinely do. I think he's probably one of the most in him, Fabius Pile and Belisarius Call. I think are
Mm.
the most interesting characters
Yep.
in the 40k setting, and I find that no, all right, no, I'm lying. I think those 3, Oricon the Diviner and Trace and the Infinite as well. I think
Yeah,
those
Trazen I'd agree
5.
with.
Um, and I'm kind of hoping that we're gonna see more books and more insight into the timeline from those specific characters' perspectives. And I think when we were talking last night, one of the things that you said really kind of resonated with me. Um, when you were talking about whichever s Imperial Guard thing, was it the Carcassonne you were talking about? The Carcassonne, that's a game. You know what I mean?
I mean, what was I talking about? So I was talking about the Valhallans, the Tanith.
What are
Oh,
they called?
Kassakin.
Cassakin, them.
Kassakins, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you were talking about those, and that you enjoy experiencing the stories and that universe through the eyes of the everyman. And as much as I love Space Marines and I love my Dark Angels, um, I really like experiencing that universe the more I've read about the lore through the eyes of some of the more flawed but esoteric and out there characters. Like Call is like full on mental.
Maniac.
Same with Bile, um, and Detrez and Narcan as well. And certainly Vashtor's a really interesting concept that I don't necessarily 100% agree with what they're doing, but I like the potential that Vashtor has to bring stuff that I'm like really into the aesthetic of.
Mm,
So him as the machine god, I think the Dark Mechanica and how that plays with sort of like H.G. Wells' vision of the future
yeah,
and like what we've already seen with the Da Vinci and kind of look to some of the flying machines
yeah, yeah,
in the AdMech from 30K and then later in 40K. Um, I really like the thought that we would see more of that with a demonic, chaotic slant on it, and I like that we're starting to explore what the meaning of the warp is a little bit more and how that kind of intermingles away from the demonic side of things and how that can kind of
yeah.
like bleed together and almost be a mirror from the Materium. And I know there always has been kind of that parity of like, the opposite side of, it's a bit of a twist, isn't it? I suppose it's got the Stranger Things vibe to it, the upside down, that's kind of what it is. But when you've got that and then you've got like the web way that's almost like connecting those 2 realms that bring it together. I think now they're fusing those more into the main narrative, which is odd that they then gonna get rid of the demons and such when they're so intertwined, but it
Yeah.
feels like it's really exciting, and I don't feel like the narrative in AOS is going that way. It feels like it's the other way, that things are becoming more stoic and more
Yeah.
grounded in reality in AOS compared to this.
I had this thought actually, I think I was kinda daydreaming at work, if anybody from my work is listening, I definitely wasn't because I don't daydream on the clock, far from it. Nobody from my work is listening. But, anyway, I was thinking a very similar point that AOS at the moment seems fairly linear in the way that I can see the story progressing, whereas 40K, it seems to be you could make a link from one place to another, and instead of it being this linear narrative, I see it more as like a spider web, and there's offshoots here, there's offshoots there. It could mean this, it could mean that, and that is genuinely exciting to me. This is gonna sound a bit of a strange comparison, but do you remember that time you asked me to roughly explain the Metal Gear universe to you
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and how it spirals and how one thing can go this way and then this happens, this is happening at the same time, and then that's kind of how I see 40K at the moment compared to AOS seems like we're almost being railroaded. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that on either side. I like games that I like sandbox style games where I can do my own thing, and 40K seems to be that kind of equivalent. And AOS is a more linear experience where you kind of go along a predetermined story and you're just along for the ride. Do you know what I'm saying?
Ooh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I do. I don't agree though.
How do you not?
No,
No, what do you think?
no. I think it's literally the other way around, man. That's why I was
Oh,
getting so
okay.
animated there. I feel
Right.
like I don't think we'd be able to do like what we've talked about with the Path to Glory. And I was thinking about this before we started recording earlier, actually, because I was making some more notes because I'm super excited for that one. Talk about it in the hobby section
Mm.
in a minute, I guess. But I feel like AOS has been everything that I wanted it to be, the world, the mortal realms, everything that they've done with that. I know we're saying like it feels like it's becoming more grounded in reality, but I feel like AOS as a setting, the mortal realms as a setting, is that it's a setting. for you to tell your stories. And yeah, you can play match play and all that other crap, whatever you're into, and that might feel less like the campaign stuff might feel more railroading.
Mm.
But I think it's an open world setting for us to explore like we're doing in Path to Glory, whereas the 40K stuff, I feel like that is being railroaded. All of the games are all about the expansion of moving that story forward, of telling a continual, perpetual now story, almost in real time chunks where AOS feels like it's just like the ever present and it's not really changing. It is, but it's not where 40K feels like crap, this is moving at a fast pace. We've got to do this part to get to this part to do this, and this is where this part of the game's at, and this is what this edition is doing now. And it really feels like there's no scope in 40K for you to tell your own stories because it's so character centric. There's characters everywhere. Everybody's a
Yeah.
named character. Everybody's an era where you don't have that. That's why we have Torek and Osric
Yeah.
in that. And it's in the OS setting, and there are those other characters as a backdrop. But in 40K, it's like, crap, you can't do anything with Space Marines now unless you're like Titus. Everything's Titus. We've got the named characters here. It's like, shit, you Blood Angel. Oh, right. Okay. So you're Mephisto and you're Dante.
Mm. Okay.
Dark Angels, right? Well, you're going to be Azrael, and the lions everywhere, and the lion's going to meet Gullum, and it feels like then, you know what I mean? It's just like everybody is
I
these
do.
named characters,
I
and you
do.
can't expand on that. It's like you can't tell a story because as soon as you do, you're going to get somebody with big beards and us telling us you can't do it because they were at a certain point in a certain time, and like, and it just feels like Games Workshop are telling that story, and we're just as fans along for the ride. But do you know what? I'm there for it because I'm excited. I want to know what's going on with the Catan. Um, I want to know what was going to happen with the next one. Man, I'm even interested in what the freaking hell the Tower doing now. How are they dealing with this? I mean, I'm like,
The Blueskins.
Christ Almighty, what's it all going? I'm even marginally interested in orcs, and I need to know about the Nids. It's like where they're coming from, what they're doing, what is their overall goal. So I need all of it. It's like, give me more now. Just inject it into my brain. Just take my money and tell me the freaking stories. I don't care about the game. Just give me the stories. This world, wonderful artwork. Stop with all of this very sanitized stuff. Give me some wonderful, gory Blanchitsu
Yeah.
art
Give me some
with the story
grim,
that you're telling me
dark
now.
stuff. I get that. Okay, well, wind that back. We'll agree to disagree. We've made the same comments, but the opposite way around, and we both
Mm.
justified it. So I think we're both valid. Um,
And that is super interesting. I think that
yeah,
we feel like that.
I think I feel like what I've said. Yeah, I see your point completely now. You've said it, but yeah, I think, I wouldn't worry. I think if we ever, and I'm not saying that we would or we do, we ever decided that we wanted to create some sort of narrative campaign in the 40K setting, I wouldn't care if you created a main character that goes against some unwritten rule about Space Marines, and you know that, right? And I'm
Oh,
sure
yeah,
you'd say the
yeah,
same to
I'm
me.
the same.
Yeah, we don't care.
I don't think so much
If they can
it's what
if
we would think of each other. I think I would feel like I would betraying the story if I did that because it's been so this is
Okay.
exactly why I don't wanna play Shatterpoint and why I don't like playing Star Wars games or why I
Mm,
don't need to play anything else to do with Lord of the Rings. It's because that lore, that setting, those characters are so firmly established and entrenched on what they are, what they stand for, where they were, what they did, how they act,
mm,
that I don't feel like anything that I can do is going to be in it's not gonna be sympathetic to that character. I don't need to it's too strongly entrenched in my head, and it would be very much me problem, and I think that's how it feels with 40K. It's like, I can't really even to the point where I'm painting the lion soon, and I'm really gonna struggle to do what I would want to do with the paint scheme because it's been so firmly described in the world of what that character looks like, even to the pose that he's got in that model of him walking forward from a forest walk,
yeah,
like how I need to paint that in my head of how that looks.
you have to do it lore
It's
accurate.
I have to
Yeah.
do it like that, whereas I don't feel those constraints, even with named characters, much like how I've interpreted Vordry in AOS, that that I don't have those shackles
Isn't that
that I feel like
strange
I have in
though?
40K.
Because I have that the opposite way around. Because if when we're talking AOS, I've got my dwarves that are painted very differently to normal fire slayers, but I could not paint Gotrek anything else than how he's intended. Yeah, I get exactly what you're saying, but we've just got it on the flip side, haven't we?
I can see where you're coming from though with Gotrek because he's such a pivotal and iconic character that is, he's center stage, isn't he? Where
Yeah.
Vordry is kind of just a little bit to the side,
Mm,
and I think the aesthetic of Gotrek it's almost like trying to re-envision Asterix and Obelix when I think
mm,
of Gotrek. I couldn't ever draw Obelix in any other way than having blue and white striped
mhm,
like trousers on, and it
yeah.
it feels like it's the same thing with Gotrek. So I can get it from that point,
Mm.
but I think he's an exception to the AOS rule. I can't think of any other characters in AOS
No,
as big as him.
yeah, none that hold that sort of weight of resonance anyway, but I suppose
Yeah,
he transcends AOS because he came from the mortal realms, and
exactly, yeah.
yeah, and like it's it almost sounds like I'm the biggest Gotrek fanboy. We're all aware of this. I'm sure if you've listened to the previous episode, you've gathered that by now. Yeah, I get what you're saying though. I think there's a lot more creative license within AOS to do what you want to do because it doesn't have that weight of history behind it that 40K does. Because 40K has existed for a lot longer than Age of Sigmar has existed, and
Mhm,
we've we've heard so much about these characters. Take the Lion for example. Before the Horus Heresy was about, we knew about the Lion. We knew certain things. We knew what his armor looked like, what he looked like, about his character, his heroism. His fights with Lehman Russ, all that sort of stuff. And then the Horus Heresy came along, fleshed it out. We got a little bit more about, well, a lot more about him, and then he returned to the 40K universe. So we've known about this guy for a long, long time, haven't we? So I understand what you're saying, that you would have to be lore accurate with him in order to do him justice. And we all know you're a huge fan of the Lion and the Dark Angels, so I get why you want to do that justice and why it would be a bit of a daunting thought
mhm.
to paint him. Is that a fair thing to say?
Yeah, I mean, he's, what, I'm 3 years into having him sat on my shelf, shrink wrap sealed in the box, and I'm still like, "Yeah, I'm not worthy."
You absolutely are. But no, I think, yeah, we've can't remember how we got to this point, but that was an interesting thought process from us both, I think.
Yeah, yeah, 500 worlds.
That's it.
Um,
500 Wills took us back to the mortal realms there, but
yeah, I mean, we're always going back to the mortal
we
realms,
are.
aren't we? So but I mean, I think that there's been some other models shown as well, and I mean, we're getting all of the Necrons that are coming soon. So we've got the new Shard of the Nightbringer, and I can't remember what the other guys are called, but there's the new cool Necrons. They look genuinely good.
Yeah,
I'm
I mean, to
I'm
me,
excited for them.
I'm no Necron lover by any means, but that, Nightbringer model is really nice. I like the is it Canoptech spiders? Are they some of the newer ones?
Yes,
Were they in
it's
the
the
Kill Team box that came out not so long back?
yeah, this I can't
Am
remember
I
what they're
am I
called.
thinking
What are
of the
they
right
called,
thing?
Ramirez?
I'm not sure, but the newer Necron sculpts on the whole,
Yeah.
I think are really interesting to look at. They don't make me wanna go out and buy them or paint them, um, but I think they're really interesting to look at, and it's nice to see that they're being progressed on some of the older designs.
So I'm definitely that. Yeah, a mentor. That's the other one.
Okay.
His name is an X Mark, one of the Hex Mark destroyers, isn't it?
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
yes.
yeah. He's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
first of the destroyer cult. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Necrosar Amentar. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm loving that. We've got some of the new ones. So I would I can see myself just getting a couple. I mean, this year now that I'm kind of not going to be batch painting stuff as much and painting armies, I think I will. Once my pile of shame is pretty much gone now, I might start dipping my toe in that.
That's very much a you model. I'm looking at a picture of that now, and I get why you like it. It's very much your style of 40K miniature, that, isn't it?
Yeah,
Compared to mine. Yeah, I see it.
I really like it.
Yeah. No, I
But,
completely get that, but, no, I think it's super cool the direction that the Necrons are going in. When you look at that Amentar guy, if I'm saying that right, like,
mhm,
he looks terrifying. Like,
yeah,
yeah, compared to some of the derpy older Necrons, he looks lethal.
I just wanna paint him. I really wanna just really wanna paint them.
Well,
But
nobody's stopping you.
oh, no, they're not. But speaking of which, before we get into, like, what we've been doing in his own hobby and stuff, 'cause we've talked for a while. We've been going for, like, an hour and 15 minutes so
Yeah, we
far. I
have.
think that there's another couple of things th that I really want to talk about before we go too much further. So, the store anniversary models this year.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that
That's
vampire lord is one of the nicest AOS models I've seen yet, and it's so simple, but it looks so good.
I am so excited to get my hands on that model. It is absurdly good. It just one of the best sculpts that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, that autark, yeah, all right, whatever. It looks like
yeah,
an autark, but that vampire is just so good, and it
yeah.
just oh, mate, I need
It's
it.
one of them models, I can quite happily just sit and look at that model. It's and I don't even know what it is about it that draws me to it because it's not the paint job. The pose is, it's a standard Warhammer pose really, but I think
Mhm.
just on the whole, you put that together and they've just nailed it. They've got it right with that model, haven't they? They really have. Yeah, I don't really know what else I can say about it, but he just looks brilliant.
I couldn't agree more. I think this is a standout model. Um, it does make me wonder as well, and again, I think there is something here with the direction of AOS. So I've been collecting, well, I've been collecting books, so we'll talk some more about it. I've been looking through some of the older artwork from the vampire counts to get inspiration for the Path to Glory games and such.
Yeah.
And this is very reminiscent of a lot of the older artwork from there in terms of
Mm,
like the look of the vampires.
yeah.
And I think we can see this carry across the Warhammer Plus exclusive model. So, I'm very pro bald guys that look like angry for obvious reasons. But joking aside, I think this guy looks more in line with Von Carstein line
Yeah.
where I think previously they'd like really leaned into more of the um what they're called Mortark of Blood. So what's the face? One take this car. What's her name? Begins with N.
I'm drawing a
Big golden
blank.
vampire lady.
I know who you mean. I'm drawing a
Yeah,
blank.
her compared to Von Carstein. And this feels very much like they're going back into that direction, which again feels
Ah,
more old world because we haven't seen any Von Carstein sculpt, and we've still got that kit that makes Neferata. That's her name.
that's it. Yeah.
Neferata, Manfred, and Ark in the Black. That
Mm.
kit is still the same kit. So I wonder if we are going to see a new Von Carstein, new Neferata sculpt
Oh,
in line with
possibly.
this and in line with Prince Vordry. But this model feels like, again, look at the proportions to this. Not necessarily do it now, but check it out later. And you look at the proportions to this compared to the proportions of Prince Vordry on the new Prince Vordry model that's just come out. This is more heroic scale again compared to the real scale of Vordry and the fidelity again as well. This seems muddier, softer compared to Vordry. Even the spikiness of the armor seems less spiky, more rounded. It feels older. This feels like it was not digitally sculpted. I'm not saying that it's not digitally sculpted. I think it's a stylistic intent. But I wonder if there is something there. The tides are changing again, and I know we've talked a lot about this kind of in this episode, but I just it's it feels like that's what's happening,
Mm.
but I love this sculpt, man.
Yeah,
Love it.
it's fantastic. Yeah, I don't really know. I don't know what else I can say about it. Honestly, I'm looking at it now, and it's one of them ones you just can't take your eyes off. I really like the detail on the sword hilt. The I love the bit of the I don't know what it's called, the bit that rises up from behind his neck, but it's not
I
a
want to
hood.
say it's a gorget, but the gorget's the part in front, isn't it? It's the
Yeah,
part
but
that
that bit
protects you.
adds it's
Yeah.
just yeah, it looks brilliant. Like, he looks dangerous, but also he looks sort of ornate at the same time.
It looks like he'd fit in with the Crimson Court, you know?
Oh,
You know, the
very much
warband?
so.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it looks like, is it called Vulgus or something in there? There's Prince, Dreiful or something in there,
Oh,
and
I don't know
that'll
their
do guy.
names, to be honest, but I know the
Um,
models.
but yeah, if it feels like that. I mean, yeah, there's so much about this. It's not even a particularly dynamic pose, but I really, really like it.
It's just one of
And it
them
does
ones
feel
that they
like
got
every
right.
time. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 100%. It's interesting as well, isn't it, how there's a parity between the anniversary models and the Warhammer Plus models this year, because that was a Soul Blight and an Eldar, and this is a Soul Blight and an Eldar.
I didn't put that together, actually. That's a good shout.
Do you think it's, well, I mean, if we're getting Corsairs as well,
Yeah. So, I mean, what else could they bring out for Soul Blight? Soul Blight have got
I
everything
don't
already.
want them to bring anything else out, mate. Every time I freaking
You've gotta
complete
buy
it,
it.
they release another model. And it's like I was done, and then they released the Necromancer in the Warhammer Plus thing. And now I was like, right, cool. When I get him, that's it. I'm completed. 100% done. Soul Blights, every single model that you can buy, done. Then they release this guy. It's like, give over now. Come on.
Well,
I've done Magic King and now you've released new models. Just stop it.
they don't need a range refresh. They don't need another Spearhead. They don't need a box game. Yeah, I don't know. I yeah, I question the choice of why it's been another Soul Blight, but I'm not
I
complaining
mean, I'm
because
not
it's a cool
complaining.
model. Yeah, that's it. I'm excited to see how you paint that because I mean, I'm gonna assume you're gonna use that in Path to Glory.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah,
I mean, I was thinking I need at least two of them.
yeah, that's it. No, I'm excited for you, and I'm excited to see what you do with them because I really like how you paint your Soul Blight, and
Oh,
I
cheers,
I
dude.
can envisage how that'll look in line with your army, and that'll look brilliant.
I'm genuinely loving how the fact that this guy now, the Vampire Lord and Nightmare Steed and Prince Vordry, because I had used the guy from, what's it called? The Crimson Keep, Vulgus. He was the base of my original
Yeah,
idea for, um, Toric,
yeah.
but I mean, these look like the same character, the armor's even the same, all the way up to Vordry because he's wearing Blood Knight armor, effectively.
It's almost like they made that for you.
It's like it was meant to be, dude.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? It's strange how well that is going to fit in with with your stuff. It's scary almost, but it's really cool for you, and it's gonna be fantastic to play Path to Glory with that on the table.
I'm excited for it. I hope. Oh, is Warhammer World's anniversary? I wonder if you'll be able to get this at the Warhammer World. Speaking of Warhammer World, in fact, before we get to that, 'cause the Warhammer World anniversary in the UK is happening, but Warhammer World US is happening, isn't it?
I saw this briefly just before
Yeah.
we jumped on the computer, actually, yeah, I don't know where in the US is it gonna be?
Well, it doesn't matter. But all we need to do is tell the wives we're going to Warhammer World and keep his mouth shut.
Yeah,
Then
see you in a week. What's all this
boom.
what's all this money from the joint account, Will? "Oh, I don't
Where
know, I just
where
went to
where
Warhammer
have you
Will."
gone? We told you we are going to Warhammer World.
So, we're gonna deceive our significant others, we're gonna have a trip halfway across the world to check out Warhammer World in America.
I mean, I feel it has to be done.
I mean, I
I
do
wish.
feel like we were talking about a road trip, weren't we? But that
We
is
were, that would be
some
good.
road trip.
But, yeah, I mean, joking aside, I think it's,
Oh, you were joking?
I mean, no, were you? As
They're
we
building
start
it,
messaging each other backwards and forwards.
Washington, DC. It says that's where they're gonna be building it.
Okay.
So,
I'm surprised it's taken them this long, to be honest, to open up something
yeah,
over in the States
I
because
never
it's,
thought of it that way, yeah.
I mean, with Nova and everything and, Adepticon and all of the other big ones over there. I mean, Nova's up in Canada, isn't it? So but,
Yeah.
I mean, over in Canada in the US, Warhammer is huge as well.
Yeah, it is,
Um,
yeah.
So I am genuinely surprised that this has taken this long, but more Warhammer. I hope it's as good as the one in Nottingham. Have you seen the Darkwater diorama pictures that I sent you?
Yes, it
Oh,
is,
I can't wait for we need to go back and check that out because I'm excited to go and see that.
and they're redoing the menu at Bugman's.
Again,
Yeah, apparently. Saw it today, yeah. But, I don't know if they're taking the hot wing challenge off, but I sincerely hope not.
well, it sounds like we definitely need to get there
Yeah.
sooner rather than later, doesn't it? So it's funny my birthday was coming up and your birthday was coming up.
That's a fair point, yeah. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, I mean, we both wanna go back down, don't we? Because we didn't get a chance to go to Bugman's because they were renovating it, but, I mean, we still had a
Yeah.
good time, didn't we? But, yeah, we'll do that. We'll get something in the diary. Absolutely.
Sounds like a fine plan then. And so then, what shall we get into what we've done hobby wise?
Yeah, let's do it.
I feel like I've talked a lot. You go first.
Hobby-wise,
Yeah.
I I feel like you're gonna know what I'm gonna say. I haven't done a great deal. I needed a break from everything over Christmas, to be honest. On the flip side of that, I've done a lot of thinking and making some mental plans. Since Christmas, though, I've made I've made some physical plans about what I need to get done next, and what I want to achieve and why. So, kill team has been a thing that we've been wanting to play for quite a while, and we were talking last night about this. Between us, we have multiple kill teams, we have multiple boards, we have multiple sets of scenery, dice, we literally have everything we need. And, with this excitement around 40K, I know Kill Team isn't 40K, but it's in that same universe. And I think that's how I'm going to sort of express that excitement by playing Kill Team. Because everything we do has a tinge of narrative elements to it because we're storytellers and we like lore. We're very fluffy gamers, and I think we can think of some really cool things that way, can't we? I mean, what I have been doing, to bring this back to the physical hobby side of things, I have built a kill team. I built the Kaskin kill team, and I ripped all their heads off. They were kind of half built, so I decapitated them for a reason, not out of frustration. So I decided to do a little bit of a kit bash conversion thing there because I've been reading the Caiaphas Cain books over the Christmas break. I've read them loads of times. I think I needed to fall back on something I knew was a good read, a bit of a comfort book, but it really got my creative juices flowing a bit. And I thought, how could I get these guys on the table? Because yeah, the Valhallans have some really old metal model sculpts that are probably as old as I am. But I thought, well, how can I bring that up to date a little bit more? So I knew I had the Kasakin dudes, and I thought, well, do a head swap, get some Ushanka hats, with the fur trim, um, green stuff around the I want to say skirts, the bottom of the jackets. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
just
The
to add,
trim,
yeah, the
like,
trim, and just kind of update them a little bit to show that they're something a little bit different, but nothing massive in terms of conversion. So yeah, that's something that I am working on. Been working on that today. Since I finished work, of course, not on the clock while I was working because I wouldn't do a thing like that. And they're coming together really well. I have lost my green stuff though, which is annoying, but I have ordered some that's gonna come tomorrow. I know you shouldn't support Amazon, but they do next day delivery, so whatever, suck it. It's coming tomorrow. I'm happy. I needed it. So I'm gonna crack on with that. And I think that should be a fairly simple paint job, um, for my standards. I just wanna get them on the table really.
what color are you gonna do?
Um, Undecided. I'm either thinking an off-white or a mixture of greys and blue greys. Not entirely
Okay.
sure yet, but,
I like the off-white idea, you know?
yeah, I think that'll be a more difficult paint though, but I'm gonna do a couple of tests and stuff, so I'll keep you posted.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm interested. I hadn't seen them off-white. That's really
yeah.
piqued my interest and
I'll send you some pictures of because, I'm basically using um, something that somebody else has done. So I'll send you some pictures over later and tell me what you think. But, apart from that, I have built another kill team. I have built the Nemesis Claw Night Lord's kill team. They're ready to be primed. Um Haven't started on my black coach yet. Just a lot of building and a lot of thinking about what I wanna build, basically. Sorry, I feel like I've waffled a little bit there, but yeah.
No, you've not at all, dude. Don't be daft.
Yeah, I've done a lot of reading, a lot of thinking, and then some building really, yeah.
That's
That's my hobby update.
didn't you have another Chaos Space Marine kill team?
Another chaos one? No.
Yeah, I thought you had. Is it just Nemesis Claw?
Yeah, just an Nemesis Claw. I've got the Blood Angels. I've got I cobbled together the Angels of Death from my bits box. Um, but when you told me that you wanted to play as, the good guys, I thought, "Well, I'm gonna do the bad guys," so that's why I got the Nemesis Claw. But I think we should well, I wanna have one, opposing faction each, so if we ever do wanna have a change around, I've got something ready. I'm not saying that you have to do that, but that's just
I'm
something I
down
wanna
for that.
do. It's just yeah, I mean, I've always loved the, Caiaphas Cain books, and I love the idea of the Valhalla Ice Warriors, and I just wanted to do my own take on them, but have them in the form of something I could play with, which is why I've done it with the Kaskin for Kill Team, if that makes sense?
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, I do have the Leagues of Votan for is it the Arthkin Salvages done and
Oh,
painted?
yes. Yeah.
Got that kill team that I painted for Littlin as Moon Baby
Yeah.
inspired.
Yeah, I remember.
So we could like I've got a Space Marine kill team and those, so
Yeah.
we do have teams.
Yeah, I mean, we can bend the narrative to our own will, can't we? You know,
Yeah,
there could
totes.
always be a reason why somebody's going up against somebody else, can't they? So
Oh yeah, man,
we don't have
absolutely.
to get too bogged down in that, but no, I think it's just a nice idea for me to do something that is a little different. I think there seems to be a common theme that I try and do something that you don't see every day, you know, and something it's relevant to me because that's I've always loved them guard novels. You know, you've heard me go on and on about the Gaunt's Ghosts and the Valhallans with Caiaphas Cain are kind of they go along with it because I've loved them books for so many years, and it's nice to have something tangible to go with the books, to have something physical as well as, you know, the books to hand. I don't know if this makes sense. It makes sense to me anyway.
I mean, it really does. I mean, on the topic of kill teams, so I mean, I told you my idea of what I was going to do with the Space Marine ones we talked about in a couple of episodes previously in it. So like each one of the Marines I want to do as a different chapter for the specialisms, just so that it looks cool. However, I'm going to use it as an excuse to paint some other stuff that I really want to paint. So I picked up the Red Tide, I want to call it, the Kakarodon Astra novel.
Yeah.
I really like Kakarodon, and I think this as we've talked this evening, right? I've been thinking about what we talked about earlier about being railroaded down paths from Games Workshop, and I think the Kakarodons are one of the chapters that are established. Are there? I mean, it was a fan made chapter anyway that's
Yep.
being rolled into the narrative in it, but it's not been wholly explored, and I think that's why I've gravitated towards them. Also, the fact that they are massively vicious and bloody and just like absolute animals. So it's like them and flesh tearers.
Yeah.
Along with, I like the Dark Angels because that kind of fits my actual real world personality a little bit more. And I kind of see like if I was, I'd be a Templar or, not Black Templar, obviously, with the ridiculous haircuts, but yeah, I'd be in some type of like monastic order like the Dark Angel. Like I kind of get that Gregorian chanting vibe from them, which really fits my personality.
Yeah.
But then I feel like the Carcharodons are just like, when I'm getting
It's primal
I don't
anger, isn't it? That's what they are
it
to
is,
me,
it's
yeah.
like when I smash on some metal and I'm, like, busting out deadlifts and, going for the heavy squats, that's kind of more that other side of me,
Yeah.
and I really like the asset I really like Tiberius? Red
Tyberos?
Wake?
Yeah, the
Tybros.
big guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really like the lore that they've established around him, so and it's a chapter that I've never really explored, and I think yeah, I like that, so I want to explore that in Kill Team, and I think that's what I'm gonna go. I'm gonna
Yeah.
craft a Kill Team specifically around anger and Space Marines.
It surprises me that you gravitate towards them because I think supposedly they're a Raven Guard successor, and I know you have no real love for the Raven Guard, and you see them a lot of the time in Mark 5 style power armor, right? Which I know isn't your preferred
It's not. It's Mark 7 for
variant.
me
Yeah.
every day.
But I
Mark
mean, there's nothing stopping you doing it in Mark 7. It surprised me because that's when I think of car corridors, that's what I think of. That, sort of knobbly power armor and yeah.
So one of the things that, and I don't profess to be an expert in these at all. I'm literally dipping my toe in the water, and I'm being very careful to do so because I don't want any sharks nibbling at my
I see what you did there.
with these bad boys. So I don't really know too much about it, but my understanding is they're pretty much universally hated by the rest of the Space Marines, even though
Okay.
they're loyalist. They're very much is at the fringe, and they don't really have any. That sounds a little bit like, "Oh, woe is me," kind of thing, but they as a chapter, they don't have many allies, they don't have many friends, but yet
I
when
think, yeah, they
they
keep
come
themselves to
back to the
themselves.
hull and they do what needs to be done if they're called on for help, and they have this strong sense of loyalty, they'll come back and do that, but then they sod off back to whatever it is that they're doing, and they don't have any qualm of going up against other Space Marines if they think what that Space Marine doing wrong. And to me, that reads as quite a strong moral compass
Ugh.
to have that, and that works for me. And I don't know, there's something that just like hooked me with that law when I read that like little snippet from that novel.
Sometimes
It's
it's
like,
all it
oh,
takes.
boom,
Yeah.
that's it. There I am. I'm like that coupled with the fact that what's his name, Tybris
Tybros, I think.
just looks like a proper sized Wolverine with lightning claws. Is
Yeah.
like I'm there for that. So
Yeah, I don't know too much about them, but, they're they were Badab War survivors, weren't they? I think. Yeah.
yes,
Are they
yeah, I want to say yeah.
fleet
They
based?
they
Fleet
are
based
fleet
genre?
based, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah,
No, I see why you gravitate towards them. I do, and, similarly, I look forward to seeing what you do with them because I think having that creative freedom to do conversions and to change it from the norm. Because I think I've seen pictures of them with chain axes and things like that,
yeah,
almost like looking a little bit world eatery. So, yeah, I'll be excited to see what you do with that, especially because you have a 3D printer and a very creative mind to see where you go with that.
yeah. Well, that is one of the other things that really kind of when we're talking more about Kill Team because it's such a small selection of models, and this year be focusing more on like being creative rather than my output to get to the point where we can play stuff. This really helps me do it, and by having a couple of Space Marine kill teams, it means that then I can have the fun of playing and learning to play kill team with you whilst having an actual hobby modeling project that has a gaming end goal in mind, but
Yeah.
really allows me to kind of like lean into the deep lore side of things, and that's a real itch that I need to scratch as a hobbyist, as well as a gamer, and as well as a lover of the law, and it's kind of been trying to find that thing,
I get that.
and
I
I
think
think
I
to
sh
have
I
it
share
there.
that. I think I share that feeling with you. I think for me, it's, I kind of need to put something together that represents a physical representation of something that might not have current models. That's why I'm looking at Valhallans and things like that. So, yeah, I think we're kind of on a similar wavelength there, aren't we? But for different
Yeah,
reasons. Yeah.
yeah. So there's
Does that, Tybros guy, he did have a model at one point,
we talked about it
a
ages ago,
Forge
didn't we?
World model, wasn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
are you gonna be looking for that one, or are you gonna create your
Nah,
own? Because
I'm gonna go um
he
full on build from
he had, like,
scratch.
a weird mix of Terminator armor and non-Terminator armor just because he was huge as a bloke, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, go
Yeah,
for it.
that's
Go
the
for it, mate. I think that's a really cool idea, and I'm dead excited to see that.
thank you.
Mm.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm there with that. How did we start talking about that? Because we were talking about hobby stuff.
Yeah, I was talking about Kill Team, and then, yeah, we went down a Kill Team route, didn't we?
Well, Kill Team is definitely on the thing, but in terms of other hobby stuff I've been on with them, I got unlike you. I went the other way, and I think to relax over Christmas, I really started smashing stuff out. And yeah, I've worked through most of my pile of shame. So
It's impressive over Christmas, considering you have a child as well.
I did have a wodge of time off. So
You did, you had a bit more time off than me, didn't you?
yeah, I got my flesh eater carts are all done now.
Mhm.
Um, they're all done. The gloom spike are all based and everything. They're ready for painting. They're the only ones I haven't done so far. But in terms of got basically two spearheads of flesh eaters out the way. I finished off all of my AOS projects. So Vordry has been finished. Vampire Lord of Night Mist. Steed has been finished. Blades of the Hollow King are done. Started to build the Sigmarite Mausoleum again for Path to Glory.
Nice.
Obviously, I did all of Darkwater. I've read a number of books. The Incomplete Pariah Nexus, that was a bit daft. Um,
We'll let you off.
I read 7th and 8th edition Vampire Counts
Yeah.
army books. Um, I read. Please hold.
I'm holding. Was it,
Read The Ravaged Coast.
yeah. Did you
Um,
read, Queen of the Rose Throne?
I did.
Yeah, thought
I
you
did.
mentioned that.
I experienced Queen of the Rose Throne. I really didn't like it. Like you might even say I hated it.
Strong words.
Yeah, I really didn't enjoy that book.
Yeah,
I
but
didn't enjoy
at
the
least at least you know, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to go through it 'cause it's Soul Blight, and I want to get a full. I don't know. I just want to immerse myself in the lore for them.
You wanna take
But
it
I
all in,
just
I
I
get that.
yeah. I really didn't enjoy that at all. There's another couple of books I do want to read in the Soul Blight series or listen to, but they're not on Audible. Um, what else did I get through? Oh, so I've started on the Realm to Battle boards as well this week.
Yeah, you did.
So again, those are going to be painted for Path to Glory to match. Oh, the Violet Current. That's what we call the river
Ah, okay.
in it. Yeah.
Yes.
So the river going through Shaiish in our Path to Glory campaign. We'll talk about that in a future
Yeah.
episode. I'm sure we've
We
we've
sh we should
we've
probably
talked about it a
explain
number of times.
why that thought popped into your head. This was a conversation we were having yesterday, and we couldn't remember what we were calling the river in Shaiish that we created for our Path to Glory campaign.
That's the one. Um, so yeah, I've started painting the Shattered Dominion Realm of Battle boards that I've had for about a year now.
Yeah.
And they'll be done hopefully the end of next week, maybe.
Nice.
So yeah, it's taken a little bit of time to get all of the. It's the cracks. It's the like
Mm.
because the actual ground is cracked.
Yeah.
I'm having to hand paint each of those. I started airbrushing it, and then I was like, yeah, if I don't do it how I want to do it, I'm just going to regret it, and
Yeah.
you know.
Well,
So
it's appreciated from my side, mate, because you're putting a
uh,
lot of work into them boards for us to play on, so, yeah, know that I do
uh,
appreciate what you're doing with that.
it's
We're
thank
gonna
you.
have a
I
lot of
don't.
fun.
Yeah, I'm not good at taking compliments. I'll just look down and carry on. So I started building the faction terrain for the Sylvaneth, which are going to be our trees in said Shaishan
Yeah.
realm.
Yeah.
So they're painted in the style of Ashenwood Dale.
Mm.
So that's where Oric's from. Not Oric, Toric is from.
Toric.
Oh, Oric and Toric.
Osric and Toric.
Osric and Toric. Oric and Toric. Um,
By the way,
yeah, man. I've
if you
got
guys have got no idea who we're talking about when we're talking about Osric and Toric, go back and listen to the episode that I think is called From Darkwater to Shaiish, where we talk about our Path to Glory characters. If you haven't checked that one out, that's a really cool episode. We go into some of the backstories for our Path to Glory characters that we've created. We talk on that one a little bit more about what we're hoping to do in our Path to Glory campaign. So if that hasn't made any sense, go back and listen to that one after this, and it'll come together a bit more.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, we will be talking more about the Dark Wars, not Dark Wars, the Path to Glory stuff.
Yeah.
this year, definitely, because it's starting to that's the main goal, isn't it, for this year for us? It really is to
Yeah.
play that narrative and
Path to Glory and Kill Team are gonna be what we're playing, I think, this year,
yeah.
alongside Spearhead and Underworlds and Darkwater.
Yeah, absolutely, but it's the story.
Yeah.
It's the story, the like, our wider story arc of what's the all of the modeling project.
Yeah.
So that's all kind of off the, off the starting line, as it were. So the armies are done. Now it's the world, and then it's the world building, which obviously we're gonna do by the medium of this podcast and the Discord, where we can talk about those narrative elements. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I've banged out a fair bit of stuff there, and then obviously been oh, not obviously, but I've done, a wodge more work in my studio space as well. So there's been a lot of stuff going on there, just rearranging
Mm.
things, putting new shelving up so it looks aesthetically pleasing when I have folk or you round to play in the man cave with us. It looks just a little bit more um, I don't know what the word is. Do you know what I mean? I can't deal with clutter around, and I want it to be. I like immersion,
Yeah.
so I've kind of tried to make things as hidden as possible, but while still being as inspiring as possible. And it's been the same up here. So there's been more hobby adjacent stuff up here in my study. So I don't think you've seen it, but I've got like a big framed piece of Dark Angels art above me. I've got
Oh, nice. No, I don't think that was up last time I was around.
no, I think I was waiting for it to be delivered.
You were, because it was
Yeah.
taking some time, wasn't it?
That's
Ah,
right.
yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
now.
So that's a huge piece up there, and you know I've got some more pieces of Dark Angels art and other bits and pieces kicking around the office.
Nice.
Um, so yeah, there's been a lot going on hobby wise in that respect there. So lots of stuff, and I'm on now finally with once I've got the Realm of Battle boards out of the way. The next project that I'm going to be tackling is a small army painting project after saying I'm not doing any army painting projects again. But I mean, it's not really an army because it's the Sons of Bahamut. So
Ah, yeah.
it's like six models.
Yeah.
It's three gargants that I've converted into kind of, so they're going to be undead, obviously.
Mm.
So they're going to be from the realm of Shaish as well. And two mega gargants. So that gives me a nice little force and enough to play spearhead with, and just two big old models that I just wanted to paint for them and like
Just to have,
it's
yeah.
gonna be my first modeling project for the year to kind of, you know, get my teeth into, so to speak, and
Sure.
really start to craft something that's hopefully, um, on brand for me. So I've got like yeah, lots of lots of dead things to put on there and hopefully paint them in a manner that's a little bit different. So there's a whole swathe of techniques that I'm looking to get into. But yeah, I've started converting those, alongside painting the Realm of Battle boards.
Plenty then.
Yeah, I
I think
watch.
we've got some exciting stuff coming, I think we've got a lot to look forward to this year. Neither of us are ones for sort of New Year's resolutions, as that, but I think the goal for us, we've already mentioned, is to just have as much fun with Warhammer as we can, not get bogged down in the practicalities, and just play as much as we can in whatever format we can, and you know create more of this world that we've created in Shaiish, and just spend some time rolling dice and having fun with it. I feel like for me 2025 was a bit of a stepping stone back into the hobby, very much so, but I built and painted more than one army. I've got a full Nighthaunt army. I've pretty much got, you know, a full Fire Slayers army that's part painted. I've been dipping my toes into 40K things. When I look back at what I've done this year compared to the year before when I did nothing, I
Mhm.
think I've done a lot.
You have smashed a lot out
Yeah.
this year, dude.
And, I know
Last
we
year.
we we, we do make jokes that I don't paint quickly and I don't do enough as I should, but, I look back and I think, "Yeah, I could have done more," but I'm still really impressed with what I've done. And I think I've exceeded my own expectations with picking painting back up for one thing. I'm not gonna win any competitions by any means, but I don't ever intend to, and I'm really happy with how my Nighthawk have turned out. They're how I pictured them, and I'm really pleased with how they look on the table alongside your guys, and I think they fit together really well. And yeah, I think 2025 for me was a bit more of a learning year. And now I feel like I'm kinda ready to go, and I'm ready to put everything into action that we've learned and painted this year. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, dude. I think you've beasted a lot this year. I know I do rib you about like, are you actually going to paint anything? But
I mean,
yeah, yeah, I
I
mean,
rib you about quite a lot of things, so, you know, it swings and roundabouts. Did you know what? Let's not forget that we started a podcast in 2025, which
we
takes
did do
time.
that.
Yeah, it takes time and it
That's
takes
also
effort,
true.
doesn't it? And that's I think sometimes we forget that that's hobby adjacent, you know, and it's as much fun as it is to talk about it, it takes time to, you know, think about topics and to make notes and to do the editing and to do the posts and all that stuff. So, yeah, I think we should be proud of ourselves. I really do. Not
I
not
mean,
I'm not here to pat ourselves on the back, but let's pat ourselves on the back.
yeah, yeah. I think we've done a wodge this year. I mean,
Mm,
I've in addition to doing what we've done, like you say, with the podcast and thing. I mean, this has been the most motivated year I've had probably since I came back into the hobby,
mm,
and that's led to like the biggest output year I've had in models. I mean, I've this by New Year's Day when I finished Darkwater on New Year's Eve, I'd done over 700 models this year. So
yeah,
it's like
that's an
I think
incredible feat.
previously the most I'd done in a year was 200, and I would go so far as to say some of the stuff I painted this or last year now is some of the best stuff that I've done
Mm,
at that speed.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, none of it was display quality. Like I said, the Nurgle army took me 3 years to do, and that was all display quality. But I feel like I'm in a position now where I can game and not feel guilty of having a pile of shame.
Yeah,
You know, I've
I
got
get that.
everything that I really need. So, you know, I feel like I achieved a lot last year. And like say, meeting you, starting the podcast, and it was a good hobby year all in all.
It
And
was,
considering we kind of
yeah,
took it easy for the majority of December.
we did, and another thing that I kind of reflected on before we came to record this was I changed my army halfway through the year. In
You
June,
did?
I decided to change my army, and I've built and painted an entire AOS-sized army and more of Nighthaunt in less than 6 months. If you'd have told me that 18 months ago that that's what I'd have done last year, I would not have believed it. I honestly don't think I would have thought that I'd have been able to do that physically. So, yeah, I think we've I think I've come a long way. Um, I think it just took me a little longer to get back into the right frame of mind to be ready to go for this year, you know?
Absolutely, dude. I
Mm.
think it's a cracking start to the year already.
Yeah, it is. I'm excited. You know, I'm excited with my little kill team projects. I'm excited with the prospect of building the black coach, even though I won't get to play with it straight away because we're going to have to start playing Path to Glory and then develop our armies and get them bigger. But knowing that it's going to be there ready to play with when the time comes it's more motivation, you know?
100%, mate. 100%. So I think that's probably everything that I did hobby wise. Um, yeah, I think that's where we could probably leave that off for now. Shall we have a quick break and then talk about some hot wings?
Let's do it. Yeah, I need a drink. Let's take a break.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. So hot wings and hot takes.
Yeah. Well, we've done the hot take, so should we go hot
Just the
wings
hot
and hot
wings.
sauce? Yeah.
Yeah,
So, I tell you what, you prepared some really, really tasty wings that you'd marinated because you weren't at work yesterday, so
I wasn't.
they were incredible. I'll, put a picture on the Instagram for them because they looked super good. They looked like something you get at a restaurant. They were spicy, they were sweet, they were fragrant. What did you do?
I used honey. I used some Naga chilies, a lot of Naga
Mm,
chilies.
a lot of them.
I lo I love them, and some other just standard bird's eye chilies as well in there. Garlic, some ginger, which I think
Mm.
I use too much ginger. You don't think so, do you? But I reckon I put
No,
too
but
much ginger in
I'm a
there.
big fan of ginger in
Yeah.
spicy food, so
and were heavily seasoned with lots of cracked black pepper, some Himalayan rock salt, and I think that was it. It was I sliced the skin and left them to marinate for about a day and a half, and yeah, they.
They were good.
I think you enjoyed them more than me.
I really enjoyed them. I really did, yeah.
I
I
mean,
think you're
there
your
was
own worst critic when it comes to cooking, painting, modeling. I think you are your own worst critic, and if I'd have been served them in a restaurant, I'm not just saying this because 'cause we're friends, I would have paid good money for them, honestly. But I suppose I'm the same though, when I've done similar things with wings, when I've tried something different, I've been unhappy. There was ones I thought that I didn't do very well, and you said they were the best ones I'd ever made, so
well, that's it, yeah, and
yeah.
I like things overcooked. I'm not into moist meat. I like dry meat and things burnt, and really, really spicy, and they weren't spicy enough for me.
I think they were just about right for me. I think if they were any spicier, I wouldn't have enjoyed them as much. I think I could have taken a bit more spice, but they were a good level, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, they were hot. They were
They were
hot
hot.
enough, but
Yeah.
they weren't hot, hot.
No, they
Um,
weren't they weren't obnoxiously hot, not quite. But I really enjoyed them anyway. But yeah, I'll put a picture up on Instagram because they looked really photogenic as well. But we've put a picture in the Discord, I think. But yeah, okay. Well, should we move on to a bit of hot sauce chat? We both got some hot sauce for Christmas, didn't we?
yeah, we did. I'm just thinking,
Well, go on.
I could use that marinade, and I'm thinking on some chicken breast, but with a crust. Sorry, I know this is nothing to do with Warhammer or Wings, but
Well, I mean,
I'm gonna do
it's
that, and then we're
adjacent.
gonna have it.
What sort of crust? Like breadcrumbs, or like a spice crust?
It'll be a spice crust. I'm thinking of using like cornflakes or something like that.
Oh, okay. Or like I'd say maybe do like panko or something.
Yeah, I mean, panko's a bit light for me. I like it
Mm,
heavier.
okay.
I have some ideas of what we're gonna do. There may be breasts next time, chicken
Okay.
breasts.
All right. We'll keep us
Ah,
posted.
man, I'm getting hungry again.
I'm getting hungry. It's 10 o'clock at night when
I
we're
know,
recording
but
this as well. So
it's yeah. But yeah, the hot sauce we had with it was the dynamite hot sauce, wasn't it?
yeah, dynamite sriracha was it?
It was sriracha, yeah, allegedly. It was the unhottest hot sauce I've ever had.
No, and I mean the packaging and the branding was really cool because it came in a cardboard dynamite stick. But that's as far as it went, really. I mean, it was tasty. Don't get me wrong, but it didn't even taste as hot as standard. I can't remember what that famous sriracha brand is, but it wasn't even as hot as normal sriracha, was it? But it was tasty.
No, it was. I mean, it was quite fruity. I think
Yeah, it was sweet. I
way
think. Yeah.
too sweet, way
Oh,
too
I
sweet.
see. I love sweet hot sauces, don't I?
You do probably more than me. I like more acidic
Mm.
ones, but I. What were the other one that we had last night? The one that your
Well,
brother got you?
if you look in your notes, there is a link to that one. It's almost like
Is the
it's almost like we prepared this earlier. But this one, now,
oh,
it's a bit
so
of a
there is.
mouthful. It is called Bucky Blackberry Tonic Wine Chipotle Barbecue Glaze Thick Sauce. That is what it's called. And what it is, it's a collaboration from, a brewery that are based in Leeds in West Yorkshire, called Vault City. And they've made it, in conjunction with this company called Thick Sauce, and it's a take on, a famous brand of tonic wine called Buckfast, which is very popular in Scotland. So anybody from Scotland listening, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sorry if I'm throwing shade or anything. But it is absolutely disgusting. It's not a drink that I have ever enjoyed. I mean, I haven't had a drink for a long time, but it's something that me and my brother always used to joke about. And he found this hot sauce that's based on that flavor profile. And thankfully, he's bought me one that didn't have any alcohol in because I probably wouldn't have had it otherwise. But it's actually a really nice sauce. I cracked the bottle open and sniffed it, and it didn't smell particularly good. But when we tasted it, it's really sweet. It's spicy, but not overly spicy by any means. It's fruity, it's very different, isn't it? It's almost sort of
Mhm.
blackberry, like blackberry and chipotle?
It reminded me of like a medicine I used to have when I was a kid.
I mean, I think that's a good thing.
It was super tasty. It
Do you
was
know what?
really, really tasty.
I've got a tenuous link for you here.
Go on then.
So similar to you saying that it reminded you of taste of medicine as a kid,
Yeah.
I got that as well. But I also get that nostalgic feeling whenever I'm stripping models with Dettol because
Oh,
d-
wow,
the s-
okay.
the smell of Dettol reminds me of being poorly when I was a kid. And this is going to sound gross. So if anybody has an aversion to vomit, don't listen for the next 5 to 10 seconds. But I remember being poorly and, when I was a small kid and, I was sick on the stairs, and the smell of Dettol reminds me of it being cleaned from the stairs, which, for anybody that's not, British, Dettol is a disinfectant. I think the American equivalent is called Simple Green. You can also use it to strip acrylic paint off Warhammer, so I always have it in the house. But I always get a nostalgic feeling of being looked after when I smell it, like when you're poor and you're a kid and you get to watch whatever you want on TV and, your mum has to take the day off work and you kind of sit on the couch feeling a bit sorry for yourself, but really you're actually okay. And everybody kind of knows it. And
Yeah.
so yeah, it's just a little trip down memory lane. So anyway, bit of a tangent there. But yeah, I get what you mean by the kids' medicine side of it because it's got that sort of herbal sweetness.
It really does, and
Yeah.
yeah, oh, man, it was just tasty. It wasn't hot in any way, shape, or form, but it was nice.
No, I think I'd use that more, the same way I'd use a barbecue sauce. I can imagine
Yeah.
dipping
Yeah,
things
yeah, yeah.
into it, but, yeah, man, that's in the fridge, so next time you're around, help yourself, feel free. As
I'm
you
there
already
for it.
do, and I know you do with all my hot sauces, you're very welcome to, so
Mm,
make a
hot
beeline
sauce.
for that one. Even though you did rinse through my honey badger, I'll never forgive you for that, and I haven't been able to find it since. I'm
I
only
know I
joking.
can't find it either.
I'm only
It's
joking.
we need
We'll
we
get there.
oh, well, I think I've grown to love the Mirandas,
Melinda's.
Melindas.
Yeah, we discovered that 2 of the Melinda's ones that I had worked really well with your wings, didn't we?
Yeah.
The habanero and garlic one worked really well, but if you wanted a bit hotter, there was the Maruga scorpion one, worked really well with it too, didn't it?
It's super, super nice, but, we need some hotter sauces, I think.
Yeah, I think we do.
I think we need to
Well,
get back on the hot sauce train 'cause you were, like, struggling last night, weren't you?
yeah, I'd not eaten anything massively spicy since I last saw you when you brought round that god awful Mr. Naga pickle, which was it was inedible. I don't think we actually talked about that because we played a game rather than record that
We
night,
did, didn't we? Yeah,
and
the
that
gold.
was yeah, we've talked about some of the Mr. Naga pickle before, but we had the hotter version, and it was unpleasant, to say the least, and it had lasting effects, shall we say.
It really, really did.
Put it this way, it went in the bin straight after. I could smell it through the closed lid. Um,
Oh, mate.
it was yeah, it went in the bin. Um, yeah. Um But yeah, I think that's the only hot sauce that I got actually this year so far, so and it
I
was a very good one, so I'm happy with it.
I didn't actually get any hot sauces this year, no.
No, that's no
No?
good. Well, we'll have to remedy that, won't we? Buy some more ourselves.
I think we will. We'll have to smash some more hot sauces out.
Yeah, well, we'll do it. I mean,
Uh,
we've kind of built a podcast around it, so we kinda have to. But if anybody's got any recommendations, where can they tell us what to try?
well, they can tell us via our, Discord,
Yeah.
or they could email us, warhammerandwings@gmail.com.
Yeah, or you can leave a comment on the podcast, you can drop us a message on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you'd expect to find us, that's where we are.
All of the socials.
Apart from TikTok.
We do not do TikTok.
Nah, we're not gonna do that. If Vine ever made a comeback, I'd be tempted to go on Vine. I miss Vine.
No,
Anyway,
no,
that's not what
no.
we're talking about. But yeah, that's the kind of hot sauce part
It
of the
was it
podcast, I
was it
guess.
was a good one. It was tasty wings last night. I'm looking forward to more wings more often.
I'll share a picture of, that one that we described because I think it's, They make it small batches, and I know it's kind of local to West Yorkshire, so, I'll pop a
Okay.
link in the Discord and put a picture up, so if anyone's interested,
Mm,
come and have a look.
absolutely, definitely do it. They are some cracking sauces.
And there's also pictures of your wings, which look good, so come
Love
and
flappy wings.
yeah, if you're not bothered about Warhammer, you wouldn't be listening to this podcast, but if you're only here for the wings and the hot sauce, come and talk to us about it.
We didn't do any listener questions last time. Should we do
Yeah, we
some
didn't. We
listener
forgot.
questions? We
Yeah,
should probably do it, shouldn't we?
yeah, bear with me. I've
I
got
enjoy the listener questions. I have to
yeah, I
admit.
think
I'm not
I've
gonna
got
take this out. I'm just gonna leave it in, and we're gonna go raw.
yeah,
Let's just go straight into the.
it's the first one of the year. We've done our first week back after work. Well, I have. You're not back at work yet, and I think we're just having a nice
I've
chat,
been
really, aren't we?
freelancing all week, to be fair,
Yeah, that
allegedly.
is true. Okay, sorry, drum roll, please. Where did I put the listener questions? Okay, so we've got the listener questions here. I found them. I had put them on the OneNote. I was worried that I'd forgotten. So I'm going to throw these at you, Wayne. Are you ready?
I was born ready, Will.
Cool. So the first one is, if you could
Mhm.
add a new faction to each Grand Alliance in AOS, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a good
That is
one,
a
isn't
good
it?
question. And then,
To each of them.
yeah, the second part is, could be inspired off old lore or things from old world or completely off the dome, which is a really good phrase that isn't used enough today.
Okay, right. Okay, so
Straight off the top of your dome. I've got one
straight
idea
off the top
actually,
of my dome.
straight away, if you want me to lead in while you have a
Please
think.
do go on.
I think we need more humans, straight off. I really do in AOS.
Okay.
I think something to maybe sit alongside Cities of Sigmar that isn't strictly Cities of Sigmar, or maybe a sort of sub faction similar to how Cathay is different from the Empire in Old World. I would like to see a division there. I don't know what it would be.
Mhm.
I think it'd be cool if you had maybe something that was specific to maybe one of the realms. I'm not sure what. Maybe something icy, or maybe something tree-like. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking akin to, with the Imperial Guard where you've got the Catchans and you've got the Valhallans. Maybe something along them lines. I suppose that similar to Old World where you had the Kislev, and you had the Bretonians. Maybe something like that. I'm not saying as overtly as let's mimic the Grand Cathay and go with that style, but something similar to that. That would be my
Okay.
immediate thought. I'd really like to
Okay.
see that.
Okay. Fair. Fair. So I have one for destruction. I would like to see some type of like Nid style
Oh, yeah.
monstrous
Okay.
faction that isn't aligned to any like they're nothing to do with chaos. They're nothing to do with any of the gods or anything like that. It is just some rampaging monsters. Think
Mm,
I don't, literally just like and like a natural defense of the realms.
yeah.
Just some monsters that are just there's a hierarchy to them,
Ooh,
very similar to the Nids, and I think that would fit in perfectly with destruction, both from like the realms that are being destroyed, and that's where these come from. And it's fairly light touch faction. They're just cool designs, and there's a consistency to them, but they're also just want to destroy all of the other factions just because they're destroying the world.
that's cool. Yeah, so would
I think
you
that would be good.
yeah, would you be thinking something, w not Xenos, something alien or
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
definitely something. I mean, specifically non-bipedal,
Okay.
so nothing anthropomorphic. Like
No.
we've got this. Why do I have an inability to remember the bloody lizard things' names? What they're called?
Seraphon.
Seraphon.
Yeah, Seraphon. We always
We've
do
got the
forget that.
Seraphon, which is like lizard men. Everything's men.
Mm.
Something. It's everything is anthropomorphized to the nth degree in it. So that's what I would like to see there.
Mm.
For death, I would like to see. I don't know if it'd be a sub faction. Um, but I would like to see perhaps a break away from some of the necromancy, perhaps, or so what I'm thinking specifically is like body horror.
Yeah.
So like how you've got some of the stuff in 40k where you've got the mutation, the chaos possessed,
Yeah.
and I mean it really some of those are really like disturbing sculpt.
Ugh.
I'd like to see something like that, something almost like Frankenstein-like, but,
Ugh.
again, not anthropomorphized things that have been grafted on to demons and like these big asymmetrical
Sort of
lumbering,
twisted
almost like the
beings.
homunculus covens and the
Yeah.
grotesques, but I mean, like really leaning into the body horror again. So it wasn't just they looked like scary humans or whatever. I mean that it was like scary,
Yeah.
mad, dead, killer, disease ridden, like oh,
I
yeah.
know what you mean.
Like
Yeah, that's cool.
necrophilic necromancy and
Mm.
do you know what I mean?
I
Something like
do,
where,
yeah.
like, they've been around the corpses, they're infected, but it's not Nurgle infection, it is just all of these things. I think that would be really
Like a
cool.
really unnatural horror kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
that.
Something like really sick and depraved.
Twisted, yeah.
Almost like a fusion of what I feel feck are, flesh eaters,
Yeah.
um, with some of the more interesting war bands, that necromancy war band and stuff where they've got the electrical things in them and stuff, but
Yeah, yeah.
with terror rather than horror,
Mm.
terror,
Yeah.
where the people have gone, you can clearly see on some of the models' faces. I want to see them like, "This was a bad idea, and I'm too deep now because I've got, like, this thing grafted onto me growing out of the side of my neck," and they're just like, "Bad call,
Yeah.
bad call."
I like that idea.
Um, I think that would be good. Order-wise, I feel similar to you. I think another human faction
Yeah.
that's non-super. I would
Yeah.
no, I know exactly what I would like to see.
What?
I'm lying. I do. Right. Okay. So Cities of Sigma, fine. Different flavors of them. Think that's a good idea. I would like to see AOS Inquisition. I would like to see the Order of Vizier. I would like to see Canis
Oh,
and Toll
yeah.
expanded into either a sub faction, or
Mm.
I'd like to see a spearhead of more of those characters that perhaps you could lump them together with some of the more, you know, I think
Like
I
the
think if
witch
you have the
hunter vibe.
militia side from City of Sigmar, and then you could have flavors from different places, like you said, from Grand Cathay,
Yeah.
from the Order of Vizier. So you've got utility, but I don't think there's enough in any of those to create an entire army.
Yeah.
And I think that would bloat things, but I think if you had the core militia and then you had regiments from these other things, I think that would be
Yeah.
nice, and you could have multiple of those regiments with different build options
Yeah.
to flesh out an army that is specific from that region rather than having this mishmash.
I like
I
that
think
idea.
something like that would be good.
Yeah. I like
But
that.
yeah, witch hunters or something like that I would
Yeah.
like. So that's order. We've got destruction, we've
Chaos.
got death, chaos. Chaos, chaos.
I mean,
I would like to see sorry, go on.
sorry, I was just gonna say, the only thing that's kind of missing is Slaanesh at the moment, I guess. Is that fair to say?
No, no, because 'cause
Um,
you've got the head next to Slaanesh, haven't you?
oh yeah, of course. Didn't even think of that. Okay. Forget I said that.
I mean, literally, yes, Slaanesh is MIA, but
Yeah.
the actual Slaanesh as a faction in Chaos.
Yeah. True.
But alright, alright. So we've actually got all of the base covered in Chaos if you think about it, because you've got the major Chaos gods, haven't you? So
Yeah.
you've got sub factions for them all, and then you've got Slaves to Darkness, which is Chaos Undivided,
Mhm.
and then you've got a sub faction with inside Chaos, Slaves to Darkness, and you've got the Dark Oath,
Yeah.
which actually does lead into what you were saying, because the Dark Oath are just humans. They're
Yeah.
basically just like horse, like
Yeah.
the Rohirrim amount. So,
Okay. Well,
um,
I guess if you rephrase this question, it says if you could add a new faction to each Grand Alliance, even if I could, I don't think I would add chaos because I think there is enough chaos at the moment. And I don't
I
think it
agree.
needs any more. I think that's one
I
of the
agree.
only ones that doesn't need anything added to it, personally.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay.
I agree. Yeah, totally.
Cool. All
Good
right.
question, though.
Really good question. Okay. You ready for the next one?
Yes.
Yeah. You sure?
Yes.
Cool. What are your hopes and wishes for the 11th edition 40k launch box? It's a bit of a strange question as we strange question for us to answer as we're not 40k players. But
I don't want it to be orcs because I have a bugbear about orcs.
hmm, I think
And
for me, I don't particularly mind what it is as long as it expands the narrative or it it does something with the lore. I'd like to see something to shift it up a bit. Like you say, you don't want it to be orcs, but I don't want it to be something that's been done before. I want them to maybe think outside the box a little bit, for pardon the pun, and see something a little fresh and new in there. You know,
yeah, yeah, all right, fair.
I've not
But
really
like
answered
what?
that question very well, have I?
Uh,
I don't know. I mean, okay, if we boil this down to something that is never going to happen, I'd like to see the 11th edition 40k launch box be something like Grey Knights v Custodes. You know, something really out there.
I mean,
You know, like we discussed in the
yeah, we
Tome
talked about that,
episode.
didn't we?
Yeah.
That would work.
You know, if we're going on base level, what do I want to see? That's what I want to see. Something that really shifts the narrative. And
Mhm.
I'm sure that won't happen. Um, and I'm not holding out any hope that it will. But that would be, I suppose, it says hopes and wishes. I wish that would be the case. So, yeah.
Mhm.
But I don't really know how to answer this because it's not going to ever be a box that I'm going to buy. So I'm going for the wish angle more than the hope angle, if that makes sense. I hope that doesn't feel like a cop out to answer that question, but it's the only way I can really answer it personally.
I no, I get you. I get you. I think for me, I suppose it depends if 11th edition is gonna be a index edition or if it's just gonna be a rollover. I think it's gonna be a rollover.
It
I
it
I
seems
feel
that
it
way to me,
feels like that because everybody seems to say it's in a good position, don't they? So,
and especially with the just bringing out this 500 Worlds campaign, I don't understand why they would bring that in if they're gonna if they're not gonna get rid of it in 6 months' time, are they? I very much doubt.
I don't yeah. I mean, forgetting about forgetting about if what we know is not true, so the orcs and that being the next big thing. I would really like to see it with this 500 world campaign and the stuff that's happening in the wider story, like we talked about earlier in the episode. I would love to see like Vashtor's lads
Yeah,
in the launch box against Imperium,
yeah,
against Marines, whichever Marines, which like Dark Angels or whatever.
yeah, okay.
Um, but I would love to see him introduced as a player,
Mm,
like an actual player. Like I want him to ascend to godhood. I want him to be the new chaos god,
okay.
and I think that would have real that would be enough to make me pay attention. Not enough to make me play the game, but I would probably buy the box for the models,
Okay.
and I'd be like, "Ooh, this is exciting."
So that's what it would
Um,
take to make you buy the box.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, I did buy Leviathan. Did I buy Leviathan? I
I
don't know
don't
if I
know.
bought Leviathan.
I
I bought the previous one.
I didn't know you
What
when
was the
Leviathan
previous one?
came out.
Okay, I bought the one with the Necrons in. No,
Okay.
I didn't buy Leviathan.
Which
So
one?
I bought the one with the Necrons in.
What was that one called?
I can't remember.
I can't remember. I know which one you mean, but I can't remember.
I ended up buying it and then I ended up selling everything individually because I just didn't want Necrons. I literally wanted a Necron kill team. And
Yeah.
I bought the box for some Necron warriors.
As you do.
It was like 87 quid or whatever when it came out.
That's not a sound
Um,
fiscal investment, but you do you.
Indomitus. That was it.
Indomitus.
Indominus.
Okay.
Yeah, I bought an Indominus box.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted them and I wanted the Blade Guard to make some Death Wings. So,
Mm.
yeah, yeah, I think that would be cool. It would have to be like Dark Mechanicum or
Yeah.
something with Vashtor, like something interesting there. I think
So
everything's been done.
yeah, so I think it's fair to say, our hopes and wishes for the next launch box would be something a little different to what we're used to seeing, you know, something to shake it up a bit, something to really progress the narrative. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. All right. Well, they're the questions for this week. Thank you very much for sending them in. They came from Discord. If anybody listening out there wants to submit any questions, I'm going to say it again. Join us on Discord and let us know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So,
Do hit us up.
do hit us up. So,
Do hit us up hard. Talk to us.
Yeah, come chat with us. We're cool.
Comment, like, and subscribe. Ring the
Yeah,
bell.
all that stuff. Yeah,
Sorry, I can't help. I'm losing my train of thought.
we're nice guys. Come chat with us. But anyway, do you want to move on to the mini of the moment?
Oh, yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Let's do the mini of the moment or the
yeah.
model of the month, mini of the moment. Is this it? He said. You sought to draw me here to kill me? Rylanor triggered his assault cannon, but fast as Quicksilver, Fulgrim caught it and crushed it before he could fire it. No, I don't think so, said the Primarch. Effortlessly ripping the arm from the Dreadnought's body, sparks flew from the ruptured limb, and Fulgrim gave the weapon a dismissive glance before tossing it aside. You betrayed us, bellowed Rylanor. Your sons! You led us here to die! There is no forgiveness for that. None! You must die by my hand. The Emperor's justice will fall upon you. Not even Fulgrim the Illuminator can escape the Life Eater.
Whatever you want to call it. But do you want to tell them what we've got?
I think it's up to you. This is a
Yeah.
you one, is this, isn't it?
So I have chosen the
Go on.
Contemptor Pattern Dreadnought, and I will tell you why. So
Go on.
we were talking, I think we were talking on WhatsApp, weren't we, about something. I can't even remember how the subject came up, but we were talking about I've forgotten his name, Rylanor.
Rylanor.
So yeah, I think my question to you was, and I can't remember the context behind it, can dreadnoughts run? That was the question that I asked you. I think I was in the middle of a work day and I was daydreaming about something, and I asked you that question, and we went into a conversation about a specific contemptor Pat Dreadnought. Turns out we were talking about ancient Rylnar from the Emperor's Children, and we got into a big discussion about him and his old story with the virus bomb on um, Fulgrim and all that stuff. I think you'll probably just heard a reading that we haven't recorded yet, but that's going to be going in, so that'll be cool. I don't know which one of us is going to do it. Probably Wayne because he's got a better resonating voice for things like that. But yeah, it got us talking. Just a really off the cuff question, and I also chose this because one of the first things when we started hanging out, we were talking about this pattern dreadnought because it turned out I had one and you had an idea that you wanted to paint one. So you've got my contempt pattern dreadnought somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I
I
hope,
do indeed. It's in my to paint pile for
yeah,
this year. I was gonna diorama it.
yeah. So yeah. I mean, I wasn't using it for anything, and you mentioned it, and I dug it out of my bits box. So you have one of them to paint. Well, yeah, I really like this pattern of dreadnought. I don't
What do you
know.
like about it so much?
Honestly, I don't know. I think the dimensions are just nicer than the box dreadnought. I think it just reminds me of my love of the Horus Heresy because that's when the model was released, wasn't it? When that was all kicking off, and it just reminds me of reading some of the books for the first times, and reading the stories about people like Rylanor in this pattern of dreadnought. And if somebody says to me dreadnought, that's what I picture now. You know,
Really?
instead of the boxy one, yeah. I just think
Okay.
it looks a little bit more animated than the boxy one. It looks, a bit more threatening, bit more mobile, but it's just such a simple design, and I think it's really cool. I can't really put my finger on why I love it so much. I don't know if it's a nostalgia thing,
Yep.
or if it just makes me think of certain novels where they were featured, but it's just aesthetically pleasing to me. Yeah, it's a strange one because it's as dreadnoughts go, it's fairly nondescript, I think.
I was gonna say it's fit. I'm just looking at pictures of them now, and
I think it's almost because it's a blank canvas.
there's a lot of very empty armor panels, isn't there?
Yeah, I tell you what, actually, this is a little bit off topic, but bear with me. Before we jumped on today, I was just scrolling through Reddit, and I saw somebody had built a dreadnought online, and they'd done a really cool paint job. It was a Death Company paint job, and it was a box dreadnought. But this is gonna sound really sad, but he'd prefaced this post with a picture of him and his dog, and his dog had passed away. And what he'd
Mm.
done was he'd made this dreadnought, and he'd had like a lock of his dog's hair and he put it in the hollow body of the dreadnought, built it and painted it so, like, his dog lived on in the dreadnought, and I thought that was really cool. A little bit
Nice.
sad, but it's a nice thought, but, I think that's another reason why I like dreadnoughts. I love that idea that a space marine can live on after being battered almost to death and just carry on fighting in this huge weaponized suit of armor. I love the idea of dreadnoughts, and I think this pattern is a better representation of that than a box dreadnought because to me they don't look threatening. They look slow, lumbering, but that looks to me like if that was running at you across a battlefield, that would be more terrifying than being easily able to get out of the way of a box dreadnought. Do you know what I mean?
I do, yeah, it has because I think it's got more human-like proportions compared to, like,
Yeah,
a Contemptor or
because
whatever the old-fashioned one is.
it's got
It does
knees.
feel like it's got that.
It's got knees and
But
elbows, hasn't it?
Redemptors do.
Do they?
Yeah, Redemptors do. They're actually posable in the kit.
Oh, well, we're not talking about redemptors, we're talking about contemptors.
Yeah.
I don't know, I think
Um,
yeah, they do, but I mean, redemptors look a bit boxy to me. That I think these when you see them on the table, they're not huge, they're not I don't think they're oversized as dreadnoughts could be. Uh,
I think these are better for character dreadnoughts. I think
mm,
this is why Rylanor works as a Contemptor, and, I was just looking at some of the ones that people have done, um, and it looks like there was a couple of different versions of the Contemptor.
yeah,
I can see why what you're saying through seeing as some of the different posed versions. I think
mm,
the easy build one doesn't really do it justice.
yeah, and I like that, you've got the different, sort of midriff chest part, and you get the Legion specific ones. I think that just gives a lot of
That's
flavor to
yeah.
them as well.
The Night Lord one looks very cool.
The
I
Night Lord
may
one
uh,
is
I may
cool.
paint it as a Night Lord and pass it back to you.
It's got that, sort of, banner bit where you write Ave Dominus Nox on it, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It looks really cool, that.
it does look cool.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen some really cool paint jobs, but I think it's one of them models that you could paint very well with limited experience, and it would look good. I think it's just a really cool model for me. And it probably is nostalgia reasons actually, thinking about it, thinking about Rylanor, and I picture it in my mind when I'm reading the battles from the Horus Heresy novels. That's I can see it clear as day when I'm reading, and that it just really cements how much I like that pattern, and that's why it's my miniature of the moment.
The thing that I'm not a massive fan about of it is the helmet. I think it looks out of place. I can see why it's there because the roundness of the midriff kind of works with it,
Mm.
but
So how would you have it if you could change that?
see, I don't. This is, I think for me, it's the. I don't know where the line comes from, but it's the sarcophagus inside of the dreadnought, and
Mm.
I think it's that squareness that gives the dreadnought its dreadnoughtness. That
Yeah,
looks
okay.
almost too almost. I can see why you wouldn't have the sarcophagus if there's enough of the corpse remaining, perhaps where it's still got a head or something.
Mm,
So I can kind of get it, but I think it is just that thing that it's basically just a head and maybe some lungs in this life support sarcophagus that's injected into a dreadnought,
mm.
um, or whatever. Because would it still have the gene seed and all the organs? Because wouldn't it still like, need the black carapace or bits of it at least to interface with the I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't
know
know.
actually, that's a
See,
really
this
good
this
question.
is why I want a technical manual. I would love this kind of crap. It's like, how
Haynes
does this work?
technical manual for Dreadnought.
It's like Belisarius, come on. Hook a brother up with
It is a very good
the
point actually
schematics.
though, yeah, I've never thought of it that way, but, yeah. Okay, yeah, now you said it actually, looking at it, it looks more like a battle suit than a sarcophagus.
Yeah,
Yeah. Maybe that's why it looks a bit more threatening to me. I don't know.
that's yeah. Yeah, I think it's an interesting progression to see you go from that, 'cause I'm just looking at the other ones as well to the Daridea, and you can see that you get, like, how they get up in size. Because I actually like the Leviathan. The Siege Dreadnought quite a lot,
Yeah.
but the more I look at this, I'm liking it more when it's got some of the when it's not the generic pattern of it, like you say.
Yeah.
The Legion specific ones look cool, and the Dark Angel one looks really cool.
Yeah, I'm not I'm not a huge fan of the Leviathan. To me, it looks a little bit too oversized, and I think I like the
That's what I
Contemptor.
like.
Yeah, that's why you like it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
strange how we've got a completely opposite view on that. I feel like putting a Contemptor on the tabletop, it doesn't detract from your Astartes. Whereas if I think if you put a Leviathan on the tabletop, that becomes the focal point. Where I think the Contemptor looks like it's part of the army, where the Leviathan looks like it's something separate. You know,
Yeah.
does that make sense?
It does, it does. I wonder I mean, I don't wanna go too far off topic with this, but I wonder if there's something here for a future episode where we talk about what the representation of what the games are on the tabletop. Is 40K an army game? Is AOS an army game, or is it a skirmish game? If so, if it's an army game, is that where things like dreadnoughts and artillery and vehicles belong? And then you become more skirmish focused, even at larger point values where you just stick to troops because the Marines are the actual tanks themselves, and that's how the law's written, that they don't need a lot of the stuff. Or some of the law. I know it's progressed away from that, but it used to be like the Space Marines were all that you needed.
Mm.
But yeah,
Make a
yeah, I
note of
can
that. That sounds
I
like a
get what you're
good
saying.
episode, actually. I'd like to have that discussion. Make a note of that. We'll do that.
No,
Mm.
I'll put a pin in it, as they say.
Yeah, put a pin
So
in it.
yeah, that's I think this is an interesting choice. It's not one that I expected when I was pleasantly surprised when I clicked on the link earlier,
Oh, good.
because I didn't actually see the quote below it until after the fact. So yeah,
Mm,
it's a good one, man. Nice
cool.
pick.
Yeah, well, it's your turn next time. And I think that's the beauty of having this segment. I think it throws up a lot of things that we either might not own because we don't collect the army itself, and it's just a model that we love for whatever reason, and we just get to sort of talk about and see what the other person thinks. So yeah, your turn next time. So hopefully you'll
Well, I'll see what I can dig up.
yeah, throw me a curveball. I like it when you do that.
I'll do my best, my dude. I'll do my best. What do you guys think though? What do you guys think of the content? Let us know via one of the many commenting means,
Yeah.
and we'll be interested
Uh,
to hear what you got to say.
And if you don't like the Contemptor, tell us the Dreadnought pattern that you do like and why.
Absolutely. Well, I think we're pretty much coming to an end. We've waffled on for a wodge of time.
We
I
have.
think, my dude.
Yeah, we have. And yeah, it's been a good one to start the new year. I think a fairly
Yeah, absolutely has.
free flowing chat. But yeah, I think we've got some fairly exciting stuff coming in the pipeline for this year. We're gonna be playing more. We're gonna be focusing on what we're painting a bit more. So hopefully this might be a little bit more succinct. Or it might be even more rambling, who knows?
No, I like the longer form. People seem to like it, and I think it's
Mm.
worth it, isn't it, for our conversation? 'Cause that's why we started it. It's just our chats. So
Yeah.
hopefully you're happy with it. If you know, and that's cool. There's other podcasts you don't have to listen to it all. We don't mind. We have fun doing it. So that's the main thing.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed. As we said, if you could drop us a like or follow or comment, whatever you want, it's much appreciated.
It absolutely is. All right, cool. Well, we're going to leave it there, and we'll catch you again in a couple of weeks. I think I'll be
Hmm.
this the reveal show in it, so that's going to be exciting.
It is on the 16th, you were correct. So that is a week today at
It is indeed.
7:30 p.m. UK time. So Wayne, make sure you're free. We will take notes. We will talk about it as we did on the last one, and we'll record it and see what you guys have thought.
We will. Right.
Cool.
Let's go. Let's let's cut it off here, and we'll catch you all in the next one. Have a good one. Happy New Year again from us, and we'll see you later.
Happy New Year. Have a good one.